26, 10 a.m. Call the meeting to order, stand for the pledge and prayer. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Okay, our first topic on the agenda is traffic issues. Somebody present that would like to speak?
You can speak multiple times.
Please state y'all's name and address for the record.
My name is BJ Cole, 105 Teal Street, right there by the Y. I really wasn't planning to talk about the traffic. I had some other issues, but I know I've seen a bunch of videos. Those trucks, you got them looping around the backside now. What is it, Trosclair Road over there? Crossing the line, our school bus runs through there. I've seen videos of it. I've seen it myself. Why are they going that way now? Forever we've heard we can't go that way. Why are they doing it now?
A lot of things is not going to have answers today, but we're going to take notes. We're going to get answers for y'all. I mean, so we're not. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I mean, the Trosclair Road in my district, Mr. Alex is here. I know you're correct that overweight trucks, I think the limit's 10 tons, not supposed to go down Parish Road. But last I heard, and Mr. Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, is PG bonded it and they got a project that's in Trosclair Road.
So they like own it, or what do you mean bonded
No,
it?
they don't own it. It's kind of like an insurance policy, being they're not supposed to be on there. If they tear the road up or whatever, they are liable to fix it.
And
other than that, without a bond, they're not supposed to be on it.
So we're okay with them tearing the road up that our school bus drives up and down?
No, that's why we make them do a bond to where they have to fix it if it is torn up. Because at the end of the day, if they follow our policy and procedures, we can't just tell them we don't want them on our road and you can't be on our road. I mean,
Well, y'all told the public that forever. We've never been able to drive anything heavy up and down that road, from what I understand.
No, you can't with the bond.
With the bond, yeah, we'll go grab one real quick. No, I don't. The traffic's not going to get any better. I want to know what y'all's guys' plan is. I feel like we jumped into this. We went through the first round. It wasn't too bad, but now they're literally hiring, and we're about to see a huge influx of more traffic, more parking lots, more campers. But there's no infrastructure plan to me on a 2-lane road to get in and out that many people. So do you guys have a plan to fix it, to make it better? Or are we just going to wing it for the next couple of years? Or, I mean, what's the plan?
I mean, as bottlenecks are created, they're fixed. This isn't the first LNG to be built at Cameron Parish.
No, it's like one of 5. We got this 5 more times behind this one.
And Cameron LNG was built and had some of the same issues with this. I mean,
But we're okay with it.
I mean, it's part of the growth. And
Part of it.
business development.
So outside of the parish roads, because a lot of our roads kind of go to nowhere, the main vein of the road, so to speak, here is DOTD, state roads. How many state meetings did y'all go to, and how many DOTD workers did y'all call and say, hey, look, we got an issue with y'all's plans? Because at the end of the day, we can't do anything on a state road. Now, parish roads, we can.
But y'all could help push, right?
We can. That's why we got them here today, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be the first time we've spoke of this like this.
Does DOTD have a plan, or can you guys present something to tell us what the
Mr. President
end goal is here?
and Mr. Cole, so this is the first time that we've invited DOTD to come and hear your concerns. As far as I'm aware, no concerns have been expressed directly to DOTD, so we extended the invitation. They're hearing this for the first time. So state exactly, specifically what your concern is, whether it's speeding, whether it's just heavy traffic, and that way they can go back to the drawing board and maybe they can run it through their traffic engineer and make some adjustments. But they need to hear specifically what the problem is.
I think it's all across the board. You got speeding, you got I think there's been like, 2 fatalities up here on 27 in the past couple of weeks. I mean, that's a pretty big issue right there. But I feel like you guys should have had a plan before. I mean, the concerns are here. We've been talking about them forever, but going into this, we know that there's got to be a plan, right? And that's, you guys have any comments or?
I'm sure they will, and we're gonna allow
Eventually.
them to speak, but
Okay.
we need to hear everybody's concerns on
Yeah.
this.
My main thing is the school bus, man. It worries me to death, my kids on that school bus. And if something happens to that school bus, it ain't like a normal vehicle incident. You're talking about our kids on that bus. Any of your kids ride them buses? Yours probably do.
Yes, sir.
But the rest of y'all, that's something we got to deal with as the public. He's got a little boy that rides that bus. I got 4 of them that ride that bus. So that worries me pretty bad. I just want to know what you guys are going to do to help avoid a situation like that.
I know, Mr. Cole, as far as the bus stuff, anytime that I'm present and able to weigh in on certain jobs and stuff, which it was very few, I put in a request that if crew change times or whenever they're stopping traffic or anything, I try to get them to go around, the bus route times, which is one time in the evening, one time in the morning. Because look, now the bus is starting to pull in to my place instead of dropping them off in the middle of the curve. Because
Yeah.
you can't believe the trucks come around the curve. Yeah, they got a sign and everything there, but
And you're bad either way. They either stop on the road and you got people running the signs, you got your kids on the road, or they pull in and out of your place, which is just as bad. Because now they got to stop and it's just a bad deal. I feel like there's not a very good plan, and just for the luck of it, we have 1 or 2 buses running. Good thing we don't have 7 or 8 because we'd be in a scrape right now.
And it's meetings just like this that we can fix this. It's the same issue in Hackberry. We got some energy poles going up, and they ended up getting their work outside of the school bus time as well. So, when we discuss these things and we make a path forward, hopefully we can make some solutions out of it.
This is the only meeting I think that we've been able to come up here and actually talk without being kind of regulated. So how often will you guys do these special meetings so we can get this taken care of, not a year down the road, and once a month is kind of.
If we got a respect and we got some good solutions coming out of it, we're not hesitant to continue to do it.
I think we should until we get some of these issues solved, because once a month we're not getting nowhere. It just takes too long, and then it's like, oh, we never heard that, and it's just we got to do it a little more frequently if we want to actually solve the problem.
So, Mr. Cole, before you sit down, specifically what your problem is it a speed? Is it speeding?
Speed, reckless driving, the school bus, the trucks. I mean, the Jake breaks out there at the Y. I know y'all got the signs up, but there's nobody there. They let that thing eat down there, man. Every truck that runs through there is hitting them Jake brakes at the Y.
Are you requesting we request DOT to reduce the speed limit on the state highway?
I'm fine with that. It
Yeah,
doesn't
you-
matter to me. I mean, I think the
acceptable
speed
solution.
limit's fine. If you drop it down to 45, they're going to drive 65. If you put it up to 65, they're going to drive 85. It doesn't matter what you post it at. They're going to drive. The speeders are going to do what they want. You guys should take that ferry ride about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. When they round that last corner, it's a 2-lane road from that point on to Holly Beach. They're just rolling through there, and I bet they do the same thing up this road in the afternoon and in the mornings when they're not waiting in line down there at Chesson's. So it's a problem.
Well, our sheriff is present. Thank you for the information.
And he'll have his.
This is nothing new, guys. This happens every single day.
I was gonna say, how do they think it just brought to their attention?
Like it's a big secret or something. This is every single day. You guys run that road in the afternoon and in the mornings, and you're going to find yourself in the same situation these local people do every day. But you don't do it. You're up there, way up in Grand Lake, or way over here, or way over there. You guys aren't dealing with it. These people are. That's what you don't understand.
We're dealing with some of the same things in Hackberry.
But it ain't the same scale. The little problems all funnel down to this one big problem. Y'all getting little spots of it. They all headed right out the window right there to that plant. Every one of them.
It's not the only plant in the parish, but
It's the only one built on top of town.
it's the other ones come through the town.
In the backyard.
Hey, BJ, you got some more of us ready to speak?
Yeah.
now. I mean,
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But for Katie to sit here and say that this ain't been brought up, how?
State your name and where you live.
Anthony Terrio, I live right here in town. But I mean, for Katie to sit here and say this ain't been brought up, I mean, this been brought up for months. Months we've been dealing with this traffic.
Anthony, please state your address.
123 Henry Street. I mean, you know, the Jake break and everything else. I mean, Philip Dyson brought this to y'all, 6-8 months ago? I mean, how do you say this hasn't been brought up or just brought to your attention? I mean, you come into town in the morning, you wait an hour to get 15 minutes down the road. I mean, how are y'all saying? No plan, no nothing. I mean, what? Venture came here and built a add-on to a turning lane that lasts, for 20 vehicles? I mean, what is that? And then, like you say, the heavy haul road they're making. So now we're going to just divert all the traffic, down a road that can't handle it. I mean, that is no solution. That's solution for Venture, but it ain't no solution for us. It's solution for the ones that are gaining from it, like Wendell and all the other trucking. But that ain't no solution for us.
How many campers?
I mean, and we've been, yes, sir?
How many camper spots do you have?
I have 22.
22?
Yes, sir.
So you're benefiting from it?
I'm not benefiting from the traffic, no. I'm benefiting from the plant work. I mean, all the camper spots are benefiting from the plant work. But there is a solution to the traffic, That should have been thought about before, not during.
Well, one of the things you fail to forget, I'm 67 years old. How old are you?
50?
You're 50. So when we were kids, we had 3 bogey plants. We had over 100 rigs drilling out of Cameron, which meant they had...
And I was here, and I was shrimping here. And I dealt with all them ships and everything else.
We had the same construction...
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We ain't never dealt with this. Yeah, and you never worked this much either. Your company has never worked as much as them trucks are working now. I mean, me saying that I'm glad you're working, that has nothing to do with the traffic. I'm talking about the traffic.
You don't have anything to do with what my son does as a business, but I tell you what, this is insignificant to what we do in other places.
I'm saying, you don't, so you're sitting there saying that there shouldn't have been a better solution for the traffic?
Not those solutions. First of all, you can't get up here raising these kinds of canes.
I'm not raising it. I'm saying there should have been a better solution for what is happening.
That front ridge over there?
You don't live here. You don't know.
I grew up right down the street.
How long have you not lived here, Wendell? I mean, we're here to tell you what is going on.
That's fine, but we still respectful. Let one person talk at a time. One person. But on the front ridge over there, and Alex, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the reason that there's a load limit on that bridge on that road is because the bridge at Oak Grove. Is that correct? Because that bridge is substandard. Where they're working right now is they're filling in one of those borrow pits that was borrowed out back in the day when it was busy doing construction down here for the oil field stuff. So they're filling in a hole to try to help coastal erosion. So if we do have some more storms, those borrow pits are falling in.
So the pond and everything that they're doing right now, I mean, that ain't even supposed to be done for that. I mean, that's not even supposed to be filled in. That's supposed to be for storm debris. It's not even supposed to be dirt from Venture Global. But I mean, that's none of my business. Are we gaining from it? Yes, I have an RV park. I'm gaining from it. You have a business. You're gaining from it. But there should have been a better solution for the traffic, for the people. I mean, I heard the man up here last meeting talking about how much money this parish is going to have come into it. But how about we have someone come up in here and tell us the facts about how many wrecks are we going to deal with? How many people's lives are going to get taken for this plant to be built? Wendell, you're not that much older than me. I mean,
they're almost every month.
I mean, matter of fact, the whole time I've lived here, I never remember you living in Cameron. I mean, I've been living here 30 years. So, where did you live? You lived in Grand Lake. You didn't live here. I mean, when did you live in Cameron?
From the time I was in elementary school.
From 2005 when Hurricane Rita.
I lived in Creole.
Okay, after Hurricane Rita.
Lake.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's since 2005, Wendell. That's not recent. We're talking about recent. We're talking about the problems dealt with now. I mean, I understand you have a thriving business. There ain't nobody knocking that. What we're saying is there has to be a better solution for the traffic, for what is going on. It can't just be shoved down our throat and then more people. I mean, that's not a solution.
Anthony, do you have a solution?
No, I don't, but a billion-dollar company should have had a better solution than they have. I mean, what? If I had billions of dollars, yeah, I'll figure it out. I mean, I'll pave the road with gold. I mean, you're talking about a billion-dollar company. I mean, You know, y'all acting like, I mean, we're not seeing, we're not complaining or what. No, maybe you're just not listening. I mean, Michael, I heard you had a pipeline meeting in Lake Charles before that we were both at, and you got up and talked about the industry and how good it was and how close you are. You know, you live 10 miles from a plant. 10 miles is a long way from what we deal with.
10 miles, but okay.
You know, 10 miles is a long way from what we do. Well, I live a mile from it, and Philip is halfway of that. And all of Jake breaking and everything else, I hear it when I come out my house. You know, I'm not right there where he's at. You know, and I know y'all get tired of hearing it over and over again, but there's nothing being done about it. I mean, tell the cop to, hey, man, you know, if you stop a few people or doing a little bit of complaining or something, I mean, it's just like Chris being here. This is the first time we've seen him. Now, this has been going on all this time. You know, if Chris Savoy is a good sheriff, he's going to be up here saying, you know, I'm going to take care of my people. We put him in that office, not these workers. You know, we put you there, Wendell, not workers. That's all we asking.
So what's the solution?
I don't know, but I'm not a $1 billion company either. You know, give me their billions of dollars, and I'll get you the solution.
Realize in DOT's defense, it takes a long time to do engineering and design. So there's a lot of places, even like up there at Chestnut, I understand they're supposed to be doing some turning lanes and stuff. But because of lawsuits and everything else, they have a lot of regulations.
So there's three.
Let me speak.
Okay,
A lot of engineering and stuff to do. Same thing with this one over here. We know we probably should have built 4 lanes, but hindsight's 20/20. And we went and tried to 4-lane the whole thing from here to Lake Charles. We'd have more problems than we have today. Would you agree with that? It was just like putting up the light poles.
So we went through the first plant,
So they are working on making some changes there in Venture Global, and I've talked to them, and they're willing to get on board with anything we can do, but it takes time. And unfortunately, the snowball's rolling downhill, and it's hard to slow it down. We know there's problems, but coming in here and hollering and screaming and telling us all the problems that we already know we have without a solution and giving us time, or giving the DOT, or giving the sheriff, or giving the DA, or the police chief, or anybody else time to try to work some stuff and make it better, it's not going to get back to perfect. It's not.
So we had CP1, and we went through this half scale. Then we went 3 years of nothing, of a ghost town, of a business that had no trucks running out of it, no nothing. So do you not think that should have been thought about? Here we got CP2 coming. We got 3 years to plan this better. So you don't think that none of that could have been done?
Anthony, to start first off, is the guys you're talking to wasn't here for CP1.
I understand that, but you knew what happened with CP1. I mean,
Don't kick the can. Well, no, I'm saying that we're here.
I mean, why are they not up there? Because they didn't do anything either.
Yeah, but
You know, that's why they're not there.
So Anthony, what I'll say and chime in a little bit, I think past jurors, future jurors, past staff, future staff, I think the big thing is just being a realist and looking at Lake Charles. I remember a time you can go to Sulphur, no problem. I'm skipping a jump. Now every time I got to go get parts in Sulphur or go on that end of town, most of the time I got to go around traffic. I got to find little side roads, if I want to get there in a timely manner to come back. In Lake Charles, they tried, they made more lanes. Well, the only problem with more lanes is it equals more people. I don't agree with Venture Global building, say this parking lot on the front ridge. I don't agree with that because the whole goal was to keep them north, to have them on buses, to be able to have less traffic on the road down here, from my understanding. Now, are they sticking to that? What's the reason for it? Honestly, I do not know, but I think it's been thought about. I don't know what was the situation that made different things change. And then hindsight 2020 is a lot of people in Grand Lake, there was like, I got family from Grand Lake. Why are they always bitching about the traffic in Cameron and all this? Well, I'm going to tell you this time, there's a person that owns a business in Grand Lake. They're like, hey, what am I supposed to do with all this traffic? They're dead stopped in front of my business. I can't get no work. I said, well, it's funny you say that because for CP1 and all of CP2, until they built that parking lot up there, it's like that at my house every day. For CP1, it was like that. Now it's affecting Grand Lake. And then we was told when we was on this trash can kick, I was told, we don't care about the trash cans in RV parks because we have none. Well, they're getting a good bit of them now, and their people's not happy. So hopefully with that, and it shouldn't be looked like that, we'll get more jurors and jury invested and involved, because it's going to be a problem across the whole parish and not just in downtown Cameron. But I do agree, conversations and going back and forth is a must, to where we know and we critique everything. Just like probably when you started on your venture with your RV park, you just didn't come here with a plan and that was it. You probably made a few critiques along the way, but I do believe and I do see where y'all agree, and I'll agree, that it fell on deaf ears many a times. But I can assure you, just like myself, this jury don't like how I take care of business sometimes, and just like y'all probably don't like how they take care of business sometimes. But however, I do truly believe we are here today because we're coming together and we're going to try to do what's best for everybody. So if y'all can, let's keep it calm and let's keep going with this conversation. But I just want to reassure y'all, we're listening, or at least I'm listening. I don't know where we're going to get anywhere with saying that you're benefiting off stuff with your RV park, vice versa. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's going to benefit with something. However, it's just what we do to make it better. To me, that's where we need to concentrate and stay focused.
But back to you, Wendell, I've seen you on this side of the table, and you were yelling. You were trying to get your point across, Yes. It's nothing personal, nothing anything. I'm saying that you represent a lot of people, and they feel like, you're bypassing them, for business. And that's all. I've seen you over here yelling at jurors, and we were all behind you because you were yelling at jurors, and nothing was getting done.
Well, and I get that. Look, and I told Brandon that a whole lot of your concerns are legitimate concerns, but it's just like the sheriff's department. I'm going to defend them, and you're probably not going to like it, but they have a crap load of cars out there. But you got to realize they're limited by personnel that they can hire, from everything from past records to who's going to work for that amount of money and everything else. And our sheriff's department has vehicles all over this parish. How do we stop every one of the cars? And whether you believe it or not, a whole lot of our problem is a lot of these workers come from Texas, where the speed limit is 75 and ours is 75.
I agree.
So they think they can drive 75 and they don't even think about it because they're so used to doing it. But the sheriff's department is really limited with the resources they have to be able to help with their. Same thing with the DOTD. And yeah, we should have fought hindsight. And I wasn't here for that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've always said at least we should have roads similar to what it is from Gibbstown to Hackett's Corner. At least those kind of shoulders where you could possibly do contraflow or do a lot of things. And I'm in the trucking business, so it's real important to me about the way that the highways are done. And we do not have a road that's not considered substandard in this parish. We don't have they call what they call designated truck routes. So we don't have a road in Cameron Parish that you can legally run a 102 wide vehicle. That'd be 96. Campers are 102s now, wide, 102 inches wide. So every place we go, we're technically illegal except for some of the dump trucks that have narrow bodies because they can. But any freight trucks are 102s. So here we are behind the 8 ball of trying to figure out how to get these roads fixed, and maybe the DOTD can answer that. But I understand that they've been applied for, or Venture Global or somebody or whoever's got the laydown yard up there is applied for turning lanes and some other stuff. And I talked to Chris the other day.
It doesn't hit you hard until it's one of your family members. My wife was a school teacher, 15 years teaching in Lake Charles. When this first plant started, she got in a wreck, broke her back, dramatic injury. And I understand it's part of life. But it ended her career. And I understand it wasn't to do with no improper roads or whatever. But
how do we fix it, Sid?
Yeah, that's what I say. I don't know the solution, but
My
name. Just for a second.
Go ahead.
Mr. Terrio something for what he said. I admire what you said. You said Wendell was at that mic hollering at the jury. And what Wendell can tell you from the day he sat in that seat till now is we are all average citizens that wanted to take a stand. But there is policy, procedure, government, that things we learn that every day. So
Well, you sit there and you say, get up here and talk calm. You know, you don't get up into the mic, you know, until you're angry. So you're talking calm. You know, I mean, it's just like Wendell. You know, we used to never see him at a meeting, and then when we seen him, it was up here to yell. You know, I mean, you know, something about when you and Patrick with the storm debris stuff. But
And,
all right.
Mr. President, just to clarify for the record, I want to reiterate that DOTD staff is here, our sheriff is here, and our public works superintendent, road bridge superintendent is here. We're here to hear your concerns. We want to address your concerns, but we have to know specifically what your issue is. So if you can please give us some examples, that would help equip us better to devise some solutions and come back to the jury with some proposed solutions. But we need to specifically hear what your concerns are. I'm sorry, I'm not a big Facebook person. Everything that's been going on Facebook, that's not an official concern addressed to the jury. If you guys want us to address something, we need something in writing to me or our parish secretary so we can go meet with the appropriate staff and devise a solution to present to the jury.
And one more thing I want to say, and I think two guys in the audience can attest to this. I heard that it takes 30 days to get a phone call or anything in. Two guys, I guarantee, has called me, and I don't think that I haven't called them back and I haven't talked to them. And I'm not saying I'll answer every single time, but our numbers are on our website. And I promise you, if you call me and you leave me a message, I will return the call and I will try to get a staff member involved. I can't promise an overnight fix, but I will do my very best to help any single person in this parish. So.
All right, my name is Malcolm Skipper. I live at 110 Willow Street, Cameron. Lived there 53 years. Never missed a year. What I come to ask, don't we sign the permits to build this?
That's foggy.
That's just what I want to ask.
It depends on it.
Okay, when we got construction, don't it got to go through y'all, the sheriff, the DA, the judge?
Actually, it does not.
Okay.
It's a state concern permit.
But anyway, you're just looking for, I'm just asking a question, looking for a solution. Is there any way, if you just slow the construction down a little bit, why did they have to try to build it in 3 years? I know why. You probably don't know why. But why you couldn't slow the construction down, cut the traffic down half, fix the problem. They still get the plant built, might not get it built in record time. I'm just saying, you know.
That's what today's about. Everybody has a voice.
And when you come up here about, regular people being on jury, I know a lot of this is from previous juries. So nothing personal against y'all.
And we all gonna try to
Appreciate what y'all do, especially Mark. You know, Mark speaks a lot for us. But I just, maybe a solution, I don't know.
So, Mr. Skipper, just so I have it correctly, you want us to see if we have any authority to require a phase-in of construction?
Yeah, just
And
maybe.
how many construction workers can be in our parish at any given time?
Yeah, just something, I don't know. Just something, solution, I don't know.
And just to answer your question and elaborate a little more, because I think me and Mr. Fuel just recently found out in the last couple of weeks probably on the state and parish concerns, and maybe in the future, I don't know, it might be changing up. Look, as a juror, when I get a complaint, it doesn't matter who you are or what it is. If it holds weight, I'm going to see it through because that's why I run.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's some things that I got involved knowing now that some things is not a parish concern, yet we should be sending letters to the state officials on behalf of the residents. But as far as getting involved on a parish level, just say like 2 weeks ago, somebody come to me with a bunch of complaints about a permit. Well, come to find out, it's supposed to come next meeting to us. But really and truly, we hold no weight. We can vote no all day long, unanimously. And guess what's going to happen? It still goes through. So it costs us a lot, and we try to get involved a lot.
Yeah.
But some things we can't control. We need to be with the people.
Yeah.
And basically, just to say it, bitching at the state. You know what I mean? And maybe that's where we need to align and be on the side of y'all instead of listening to y'all, because the way I see it, we're taking the ass chewing and the biggest biggest buffer for the state when we ain't got a dog in the fight.
Understand that.
So I agree with that, and that's something that's we realize is very new here.
Yeah.
So we're working on that part.
So
All
what
right.
Mr. Daigle was describing is there's a state concern permit
Yeah.
and local concern permits. Before, when you saw the list of permits, you see it as we approve all those. When it comes to a state concern permit, we have the choice to make an objection or note an objection or note a comment, but that's all we have is.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to a local concern permit, y'all saw with the RV park the other day, we voted on that. We do have that kind of, we can do that. So some of this stuff, and that's what I was trying to tell Anthony when he's talking about it, Mike. Some of this stuff we're learning as jurors. I mean, we're not experts. We were one of y'all a couple years ago. So we're learning about a lot of things. But just to let y'all know about permits, there is a such thing as some is in our jurisdiction and some is not in our jurisdiction.
Well, that's good to know.
And I allowed all this to be on the record today, but I'm telling y'all, some of these items we have no jurisdiction over. But I want everybody to be able to talk about it, everybody to be able to express it, and hopefully we can try to talk to some of the agencies and, bring some attention to some of these things.
Yeah. Well, just some kind of something, I don't know.
Yeah. The plant itself is being built under a FERC permit, which is federal.
Yeah.
It's a federal permit. We have zero to do with
Yeah.
that.
But aren't those parish roads they used to get to the
They
plant?
are.
And you control the parish roads?
That's right.
So you guys got a dog in the fight. It's whether
Yeah, you
use
do
it or
have,
not. Y'all not
but-
using it.
I don't know. Think of a solution.
No, thank you, I
Thank
haven't.
That was a definitely good solution about cutting the construction in half.
Good morning. I'm Brandon the Barge. Nice to meet you. Nice to see y'all this morning.
Address for the record there, Brandon.
Address 194 Pierre Street. All right. So on Charles Square Road, my issue is, and I have a video, but y'all won't play that or nothing. Huh? That way y'all can see something.
I can
Because them lanes, they must be narrower than a regular road. Because I videoed one of these 18-wheelers the other day, and he's over the yellow line a good ways, and then when he does get back in, it's like line to line. He ain't got no room to spare. And that's the same route that my kid takes on that bus, and I would love to show y'all that.
Can you email it to me?
I'm sure. Sorry
I think it goes back to what Mr. Wendell was talking about.
I'll work on it, Brandon, if you want to keep talking.
And Alex, just to clarify, just because we got a bridge on a parish road don't make that a 10-ton road. All parish roads are supposed to be 10 tons.
Yes, sir. Yeah, all roads are 10 tons.
Thank you, buddy.
Is it? Can I airdrop it to you? Do you know, I don't know if I know how to do that. Come see. I don't know, do they have that right here? It's a.
And while we wait on them, I mean, and the traffic, like by Chessons, I know that's something that y'all have no control over. But what I would like to see, and last meeting y'all started uniting. Y'all need to unite as one. Because if y'all unite as one, y'all got some power. But when y'all fighting against each other, y'all are no good to us or yourself. I mean, and that's really what y'all need to focus on, because y'all say y'all just regular people up there, but at the end of the day, when y'all lay down in that pillow, y'all head hits that pillow, y'all got to answer to God. So you want to lay there and say, well, I'm doing what's right for what the agenda is or what the next man above me wants me to do, or do y'all want to do what your moral compass tells y'all to do and what y'all heart tells y'all to do, and just stand with the people? And I think we should have more of these meetings more recently where y'all could hear from what's going on, because the last meeting when y'all involved the community in the camper parks and the food truck voting, that meant that went good. I mean, I know y'all involved the community, and that meant something. And yeah, and as far as like the traffic solutions, now that the construction's at full swing and they want to add these turning lanes, that's a terrible idea.
But I'm just saying when the project was approved and started getting approved and they was planning this, they leased all this land from the property owners to build CP1, CP2, CP3's coming, same landowners. Them same landowners own pretty much the whole property it would have took if they would have built their own private road right out of Gale Street that they want to revoke. If they would have went right down Gale Street, down that ridge, come out right by the Y, all this traffic right here that's backing up would have been on their private road, and it would have took nothing to build it. They got all the dirt they hauling the field and ponds in, and that ridge is a sand ridge. They could have built a nice road, and all that traffic to this plant majority would be backed up there instead of in town and going through our town and everything, all this dust and everything in here. When y'all leave here today, y'all just look at the oak trees and anything along the side of the road and look at the dust on it. That's what we breathing in every day. And that's what we got, just solid dust, cement dust, limestone dust, dirt, you name it. That cannot be healthy. And it should not look like that in this town. It's just everything's dirty. But hopefully they get this video, and then that's about all I got to say on the traffic. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, Brandon.
Name's Ryan Jordan, live at 138 Francis Circle. One of my complaints is the traffic in the neighborhoods. And the only solution to that is to have more officers, because I've reached out to the sheriff department numerous times, and they've finally been sending a deputy out there. But the problem is there's only one deputy that works from the ferry to the Y. So he can sit there for 5 minutes and stop one person and give him a ticket or give him a warning, and it slows that one person down. But as soon as he goes to park again, he gets a phone call and has to leave there, or there's not enough deputies in Cameron for the amount of people that we have. And I know they say that they're short-handed, but I mean, at the last meeting, there was 5 of them right here. There's 5 deputies able to come in here, wasn't there? So, I mean, during the peak of traffic, we can't get one guy on his day off to come in and make some overtime and work these roads. I mean, there's this construction scheduled on 13-1 schedule. They work 13 days, they're off every other Sunday, the majority of them. Well, for 13 days, you'll never see a deputy sitting right here from the ferry to the old Methodist church running radar. But on that Sunday that they're all off and there's no traffic, there'll be a deputy. I got pictures for the last 4 months of that happening. So, I mean, what's persuading that we're only running traffic? And I know that's not a question for y'all, but I know Chris is here, Mr. Chris. He reached out to me, but I wanted to say it to him over the phone, but I figured him being in this meeting would be a better time to bring it up. What's persuading that we're only running radar in town right here when there's no traffic? Just kind of ironic to me that we're only working we're only running traffic right here on the 14th day whenever nobody's working, there's no traffic. So,
I'd like to go ahead and address that if I can.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll be happy to bring you, come to the office or wherever, or I can meet you anywhere. I can pull up some stats and I can show you how many tickets were wrote in what area with the date, the time, the traffic stops that were made, the date and time, and the location. And I can guarantee you we are writing tickets here. I can tell you right now, I sent Carl Connor out here the other day and he wrote tickets all right up and down here.
3 in 3 days.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, we've got to be everywhere. Now, I can give you some stats on how many traffic citations we've written and how many overtime hours we've worked and how much money we've spent in overtime so far. So far, we have, since our fiscal year starts on July 1st and it ends on June 30th. So for July 1st, 2025 to April 23rd, which is when we did these stats, that was last week, we made in this parish 5,425 traffic stops. And now I can drill down further into each individual area. I just didn't do it, but I didn't know I needed to, but I can definitely get that information for you. Citations issued, we've issued 3,876 citations. We made 159 traffic arrests.
But that's parish-wide, right?
That's parish-wide, that's correct. Well, we got problems more than just in downtown.
Yeah.
Too. So, just to give you some context, for the prior year, that would have been from June 30th, 2024 to July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, we wrote a total of 3,722 tickets. So we're already at over that what we wrote for the previous year, and we still got a lot of months left of this year. So if we look at it and we average that out, that looks like we have a 25% increase in traffic citations so far this year. Now that can vary and go up and down. Now, somebody brought up crashes. I want to talk about crashes. We do have an uptick in crashes, and we did have 2 fatalities in our parish. But we also have a heavily increased amount of vehicles in our parish too. So when you have more vehicles, your crashes are going to go up. So current crashes we've had so far this year is 324 with 2 fatalities. Prior year we had 268 with 0 fatalities.
In the whole year?
In the whole year.
And we've already had 300 in the first few months?
300? No. Since July of 25. Okay. My fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. So that's not from January to present.
I got you. But you said last year.
And that's the same last year total was from July to June 30th.
2024?
2024 to 2025.
Okay. Same page now.
Yeah, okay. Which is a 45%, if it continues on this scale, will be a 45% increase in crashes. So what I have done and what I can do is enforcement. Now, y'all said something about shorthanded. I am shorthanded. I'm 5 deputies short on patrol. I'm filled up in other areas. So what I do is I offer overtime. And we've paid so far this year, this fiscal year, which is again July 1st to present, we have paid over $719,556 in overtime. Now Brandon brought up a point, we do get money during the construction phase from Venture Global. We don't get that much. So we have spent that in overtime. Now, the question I've heard in the past was, why don't we hire people or increase our pay so we can hire more people? Well, that's temporary money from just during the construction. If I turn around and hire you, and then 2 years later I got to let you go because I don't have money to keep you, or if I give you a raise and I can't afford to sustain that, then I'm hurting you and I'm hurting your family.
Right.
So I don't do that. Now, I am looking at raises for next year because we got to figure out a way to get some deputies here. But my fiscal year's set for this year, so I can't do that till July 1st. But we are already proactively recruiting. I've got 3 people we've hired that are in training right now. 2 of them have law enforcement experience, so their training is going to be short. Someone with post-certified law enforcement training, we can get them in and out and ready to go in maybe 2 to 3 months. Someone's green that's never worked in law enforcement, that's 8 months to a year. So there are some stipulations, some troubles there. Now, what I have done, like I said, is, of course, if you're caught speeding, going over 100 miles an hour, you're going straight to jail. If you get caught passing a school bus, you go straight to jail. If you're speeding 80 over in a 55 or equivalent in that speed zone, you're getting a mandatory court appearance where you have to show up in court and answer to the judge. If you're going over 90 miles an hour, the judge is sentencing you to jail time. Now that jail time could be on the weekends or wherever, because not to mess you. Also, I've gotten with Venture Global, and so far, by us communicating with them, they've released or excused 70 employees for reckless driving. So with that being said, some other things that we're trying to do and that we have done is, I don't know if y'all noticed, but we have a dummy car on both sides of the river, and we're moving that in that route, trying to keep people slow. Is that going to keep people honest? No, because when they pass the deputies, they just kick it up anyway. But we're trying. We're also getting some safety signs, some big safety signs to put out safety messages just to try to keep people aware. Like Mr. Wendell said, maybe these Texas drivers are thinking, they don't even think about it. Stating the speed limit, stating how many crashes we had. We've had 2 fatalities, don't be next, that kind of thing we're trying to get done. We're in the process of trying to get those signs and get them in and get them up at key locations throughout the route. Jake brake ordinance, I heard somebody bring that up. The signs just went up last week or the week before.
Yeah, seen them.
So I've already instructed my guys, start writing tickets. Get out there and do it. Mr. Phillip called me a while back, right when the signs come up, said he got woke up that morning. My guys are doing it. If they're not doing it, or if you're having the issue, please call me. Most of y'all have my cell phone number. If you don't, I'll give it to you. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, I understand that we're trying, but Man,
I
think
can't
we
make it
should
perfect.
have
I
started.
can't catch everybody.
I know you're like them. I mean, you've been in the sheriff department for a lot of years,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you just
yeah.
became sheriff. But I mean, we've seen all this in CP1, and now middle of CP2, everybody's getting
I'm going to
concerned.
speak to that.
And
So,
the like I said, the sending deputies to my neighborhood, putting some pressure on them, it has dramatically slowed the people down in my
but
neighborhood.
I average
I
10 to
understand
15 phone calls a day from different areas of the parish asking
Yeah.
for traffic control.
Right.
I've got 3 traffic guys that are working. I am paying people extra overtime, or let me rephrase that. The public, with their tax money, is paying extra overtime for these guys to go out and work this traffic. We have written more tickets since January than we've written in the previous 4 years.
Exactly.
And we're doing everything I can. Also, I've contacted state police. The captain of state police is Brad Salzman. I've contacted him and asked him for assistance. They were down here a couple weeks ago. He's committed to sending me 2 guys once or twice a week because he's shorthanded. So they're the only other people that can write tickets in Cameron Parish for traffic violations.
Right.
We're working on some solutions. We're having meetings. I'm having a meeting next month with state police again. I got a meeting with the Calcasieu Sheriff's Office because they're in this boat too with their stuff. Got a meeting with DOTD, I think is going to be there. As far as Mr. Wendell's committed to being there. And Venture Global is going to have a representative there as well. There were some plans that were presented. Those plans didn't come to fruition. What reason? I can't answer that. I don't issue permits. I don't have anything to do with permitting. I have nothing to do with when a job starts or how many workers or anything. My job is to enforce laws and to try to keep the roads as safe as I can with the situation I have. I can tell you right now, we have in this parish, coming into this parish currently, you have 4,300 workers right now as we speak, as of last Friday. 4,300 workers and 110 buses in and out of here every day. So if you have a solution, or if I can help you, or if you have anything that you think can help, I'm willing to listen. And I'm willing to do anything I can to help.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, more tickets will get them. I mean, eventually the word's going to get around that, hey, these cops don't play. They're writing tickets. Because, I mean, if you drive through.
One more thing I'm doing. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to meet with every worker, every construction worker. I'm going to be in one tent. They're having a meeting. I'm meeting with every Venture Global construction worker on that site tomorrow. And I am going to lay down the law and tell them what's going to happen to them.
And that's good. And we appreciate that. We really do appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Well, the problem with escorting in Cameron is I don't have shoulders or anything to get them off. I'll follow the school bus all day long. And if they run stop signs.
I got some great grandchildren out of town. I'm right there with Brandon is, and I'm scared one of them will get run over. Just a matter of time.
I'll be happy to have a guy follow behind the school bus as much as we can if they don't get called off on calls, but we will have them follow the school bus in the evenings and the mornings as much as we can. I can't escort. When you say escort to me, that means put a guy in front of the school bus with the lights on, driving them around traffic and stuff. And I can't do that because we don't have wide enough roads. But when you say escort, I'm assuming now you're referring to maybe follow behind.
Follow behind is fine. I need something done for one of these days to get run over.
Well, I 100% agree, and we do arrest anybody and everybody that we catch running the stop sign on the buses. Yes, sir. Thank y'all. And look, guys, I'm going to stay until about 11, but I do have to get to Council on Aging meeting up there, or a community action meeting. I'm the president of the board, and we're having to replace a member, and I already committed to that a month ago. So I'll be here till as long as I can, and then I'm going to have to cut out. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
And look, guys, knowledge is power. The sheriff's department, just like the police jury staff, just like the DA staff, just like the judge's staff, we have a budget we have to work on. We have to stay within that budget. In a real world, we'd like to have a deputy escort every person in every vehicle, but unfortunately you can't. When they get a 911 call, most of the time the deputies that are patrolling got to leave. Like I saw 2 of them go to the beach the other day, and I think they had an accident or maybe a near drowning. Well, that time that them 2 deputies probably went over there, that left a lot of ground uncovered. But what I would suggest, if you see something, say something. Get the license plate of these workers, and it sounds like it brought enough concern that if you turn that into the sheriff's department, I'm sure Mr.
I guarantee you, if you give me a license plate number, I will have an investigator go, the deputy, somebody go over there, track them down. If they're in Texas, Lake Charles, whatever, and issue them a citation.
Well, hold on,
If you're willing to give me a statement saying.
let's talk about that, because I got an instance last week.
Good.
So last week, we had one truck
Okay.
come down my neighborhood, fly through 2 stop signs, go to this camper, got a license plate number and everything. And that's when I pretty much snapped, because he does it every day. So I called the sheriff department and I said, hey, look, I called yesterday. Y'all supposed to have a deputy. I called the day before. You're supposed to have a deputy. Can y'all please send somebody out? So they sent a deputy. Give them the license plate number, showed them exactly where they stayed, the whole 9 yards. And that deputy told me I cannot issue a citation from a hearsay.
I will fix that. If you were willing,
I actually called him out 3 times that afternoon.
Well, there's more than calling. If you're willing to give me a written statement where you'll testify in court against that person, because that has to happen, because my deputy didn't witness it, or I didn't witness it, you're going to have to give me a written statement saying that this happened, this date, time, and this is what he did. We'll go there, issue a citation, and then it'll be up to the district attorney to prosecute or not.
That's what I'm getting at. The first truck that come through there that day that I called on, he usually don't drive like that. So I called on him because, I was already aggravated with the sewage in my yard and everything that day. But then right after that, the truck that does it every day did it twice. 2 stop signs. And this is 4:40 in the afternoon. It's like right around the time my son gets home from school, and, there's other kids in the neighborhood he likes to ride his bike and go play with. So the first time the deputy came out, I said, look, if you just go talk to him, ask him to slow down, I don't want to, he don't usually drive like that. The second truck, when the deputy showed up, I said, no, I want to do a report. I want something to happen. He said, well, I can go talk to him, but I can't write him a citation because I didn't catch him in the act. Can't go off a hearsay.
I'll fix that.
But I've been.
If you want to talk to me after the meeting or call me, you got my cell phone number.
Yeah.
Give me some information on the actual.
That's the next day. That's when I went to your office and left my number.
Yeah.
But which I know that was false, because I've had to go turn myself in, because whenever I was young and dumb, driving stupid.
100%.
Right. So I had to go.
So, hey, that's an educational issue. That's a training issue, and we'll get that fixed.
I appreciate it.
Before June 1st.
Same thing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please state your name and your address.
My name is Robert Doc. I don't mean to talk loud, but out there 104 Ellen Street, Cameron, Louisiana, 70631. Look, one of my concerns is I shrimp across the river. I got to cross that ferry every day for 45 years. When I leave to go shrimping during the moon, the tides, or whatever, sometimes that ferry is backed up past the pogie plant. 2-hour wait to go shrimping. Then I'm late for the tide. What am I supposed to do? Like get there at 12 o'clock during the day to go shrimping at 5:30 that evening. And then sometimes it is, I don't know about DOT, how they doing it. They always say mechanical issues. It's because they short-handed. Okay? Now DOT, whatever they call DOTD, when you file for that job, no matter where they put you, highway, digging a ditch, the ferry, if they short-handed, they can take some hands from Lake Charles, come down there and push a button to raise that gate. So being they shut down, makes my job, I got to go all the way around. It shouldn't be like that. I'm just one man. But now, shrimping finna open up. Hackberry's the only shrimp shop. So the ones that don't go by boat has to go by vehicle. So we got a 1,500, 2,000 pound of shrimp if we catch it, all the way around just to go to Hackberry. That's my concern. They put me in a bind. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else with traffic issues?
Not traffic, you got trouble with the cement plant over in the river. They got the cement.
Yeah, let's stick the traffic issues on
While we have the
We got
sheriff.
the air coming next.
Okay,
No, just the
there's
sheriff
some-
has to leave. We just want to make sure everyone had a chance to talk before he leaves.
Yeah,
Anybody else have something for the sheriff?
I got the first line of traffic.
I
Y'all
got,
want to watch the video, sheriff?
I got a question on traffic before we get off. And
Okay.
I go to these here. I'd like to know why it's so hard to get speed limits lowered, at least temporarily in some of the communities. they address it, they would like to address it.
Okay.
I just want to give y'all a positive note on Trosclair. We're just days away from getting it restriped. We're having trouble getting the contract signed with their software. If it's not signed by Thursday, I'll drive to Eunice and get the copy of it. And then after that, he says a day or two they should be in and out with the restriping. So just want to update y'all.
Okay, let's watch a video.
Oh, front ridge?
I didn't think they were supposed to be on the front ridge.
They bonded it up. Oh, I know.
He's strong.
Now, does that look tight to y'all think? Them lanes?
Who said that?
I mean,
So, do y'all think when two of them pass close together, they almost slap mirrors in that on that lane on that road right there? Honest opinion, or is that?
Absolutely, but every parish and county road in the United States is like that. I mean,
Yeah.
But Brandon, I will tell you this much: this big project and the other tax base that's coming into this parish, that y'all was talking about the numbers. Hopefully, we have the numbers to get these roads up to par.
Yeah, and just one thing I want to touch on before I forget about the traffic. Right there, the caution light. I'm sure y'all seen the video I posted the other day. And I could have probably called the sheriff and told him, but my point is we shouldn't have to babysit y'all. Okay, I come in here, the first meeting, I raised hell. I went to that sheriff department, I come to y'all. He went back there, talked to Venture, and guess what? Venture was out there in their own little vest for about 2 weeks. They was doing that 8 or 10 cars, and there'd be a gap. 8 or 10 cars, be a gap. End of 2 weeks, maybe end of the third week. That's when I took the video, going. It started where it slowly, there wasn't no more gap. So, and like I said, I could have called the sheriff, but I figured we'd just let the public see it and speak for itself. And that's why I posted that video. We cannot get on it, start handling the problem, and then lose sight of what we need to do, and then it just goes back to the same old way when the problem first, started. So, and if y'all seen the video, I think there was like 28 cars that rode through that stop sign, and plenty that went and wouldn't let the bus get out. And then I will say, after that video that day, that afternoon, we've been having a detail worker, directing traffic ever since, and I appreciate it. But we cannot start on doing something, and then as it goes, weeks go by, it just slowly falls right back into place, and that's what we're tired of, and that's why we're here today and having this meeting. So, thank y'all.
Okay. I'm done. Is anybody else from the crowd want to talk about traffic issues?
Mr. President, so do you want staff to look into seeing what it would cost to add shoulders to Trosclair Road and Wyman?
I mean, that's not the only road here in the parish we need shoulders on, but yes, we can look at the cost of it, absolutely.
That's the main road, that's going to the school, that needs to be done.
She drives it every day.
That's priority.
No, I agree, but we got state roads that don't have shoulders that we need shoulders on. I mean, we got shoulder missing all across the parish.
That means about this road, not the state, or the United States, get off of that.
Okay, DOTD, y'all mind sharing, y'all heard some of these concerns, can y'all share some from y'all's knowledge on this?
My name's Jared Shomo. I'm the Department of Transportation District Traffic Operations Engineer, and I've taken some notes here. And sorry if I missed these names, but Mr. Cole's, Mr. DJ Cole, he had some concerns basically with speeding and reckless driving. Mr. Carrier was his primary concern. It appeared was the jake braking, which has been addressed. Well, not fully addressed, but at least we got the signs up. Mr. Malcolm Skipper, I guess I got that name correctly. He said, basically reduce construction to basically a half rate. Not a bad idea. Brandon DeBarge, Trosclair Road seems to be a big issue for you guys. It seemed like the school buses, escorting the school buses may be something that can be done. Let's see, Brian Jordan, running radar. Sheriff got up and gave a bunch of details about what they're dealing with and not fully understand. The ferry crossing west side delays. I'm not going to address that. I'm going to let the guy over the ferries address that portion of it. And then Mr. DeBarge come back up and was just, I didn't have any notes on his last one. But look, guys, all of you, we are aware of complaints, okay? And we work every single day. I think it was, who was that? Robert. I'm gonna address. We did send people from Lake Charles to work on the ferry.
Don't last long though.
Well, I hear you, and I don't want to get into a bunch, but we will definitely look in. We will do more of that.
I need to go across.
I hear you, and there are some things that we can do. We can require Venture Global to have a park and ride on that side of the river. There's things that we can do, and we will do. It was interesting listening to some of y'all, and y'all, I understand you guys are living here every single day. I want to share with y'all something. Everybody wants these roads. We would love to be able to come in here and build y'all's roads. 4-lane divided roadways all the way to Cameron. If you go back and you look at the Deepwater oil boom that occurred in Grand Isle, okay, off of LA1, there's only one road down there. Them guys were doing the same thing. They were PO'd, okay? Once the oil boom started moving, getting some revenue generated, they went and built them an elevated roadway all the way to freaking Grand Isle. And that's what we're expecting here. What we've got is this LNG oil boom is way bigger than that Deepwater oil boom.
See it?
Okay? Oh, yeah. And look, so guys, we cannot build roads overnight. You just can't.
But if we didn't have that 2-year tax break, we'd have some more money to spend.
Yeah. 3 years in road construction is nothing. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of things already moving that you may not be aware of. Okay, just to let you know, guys. Your roads are going to be improved. Is it gonna be improved today, just like, I think it was Mr. Cole or Brandon or whoever made that statement. You know, I can't believe they're gonna come in here and construct that road with all this construction.
They did some, surveying or whatever, way before that plan even started. And they said, all these roads gonna be good. Them roads ain't good.
Well, it takes a long time to get a good design. You know, there is just, you know, I mean, you guys know it takes time to design a road, to deliver the project, to get the permits done. It's a process that takes time. Okay.
Do they ever come to y'all and say, can this kind of traffic handle, you know, these roads handle this kind of traffic?
Guys, these roads.
You know, or what can it handle,
yeah.
so we know how many people can come here?
We can get people to these parking sites and to these RV sites faster than they can park. And that's the truth. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing these queues, you know, these vehicles stacked up, because we're getting vehicles there faster than they can even handle. And that's the things that you know.
Have you been there?
Look, I've dealt with every LNG, Sasol development, Cheniere.
This LNG built right on top of town. I mean, we gotta deal with this every day.
I hear you.
The reality of it, you guys aren't gonna do any road work until these plants are done. There's no possible way. You got CP2, you got CP3, you got Commonwealth on that side, and you got one or two right out here within a 3-mile radius of each other that are right after these. You're not gonna get a break to do this for the next 10 years.
15, bro.
Probably 15. I mean, that's the reality of it, correct?
Well,
2-lane road.
it's for the most part, you know, and I don't know when we're gonna get the money to do it, okay? Today, you know, look.
Well, it's like say, how we get them to pump the brakes a little bit, you know, like, hey, you have enough here, you know? Slow down a little bit. I mean,
I don't have that
You're
answer.
not gonna stop that. That's way above anybody in
That's
this
right.
room.
That's
They give
right.
direction on what to do and they do it. That's how it works.
We're, but you know, it was good me coming here today to listen to you guys, because up until this point, you know, I've got a couple complaints. Mike calls me a few times, you know, to handle things, and then someone with your parish called and we discussed the Jake break signs, and we got that done. So, you know, guys, our phones work too. You know, not just these guys. If it's on a state route or something, call us. Let us know. Because I'm telling you, this is other than, you know, well, I was going to say 1 or 2 phone calls, other than the 50 phone calls that Mike has called me about, you know, issues. That's what we do. You know, 90% of the issues are coming from people like you that call us. Call us. Let us know.
You gonna give us your phone number?
I can. I'll give it to you right now.
So you head over to
I am not the head. No, sir, I am not the head. No, sir.
Do you know where they gonna do to add the 3rd lane right here in Cameron? Say for the caution light. That's what I wanna know. I'm looking at the flags.
Yeah.
Okay, and that, if the road's gonna be right there, y'all are going to have to cut all of them big oak trees down.
I thought that was.
And go in my front yard.
And that's part of storm prevention, not just for us, but for Grand Lake, Lake Charles. Them big oak trees is the first line of defense. So that's what I'm wondering when the 3rd lane
I don't
comes
know
right
where
there.
them flags are. I will look at them.
I got pictures of
Okay.
them. They in the roof.
But those flags are more than likely locations of utilities, things of that nature. They're more than likely not the edge
I
of the
have
road.
3 different color flags.
That's right.
I have 3 different color flags in my front.
Yeah. And that's marking out, most likely that's marking out utilities, more than likely.
I hope
They
so,
can't
because
build a
I
road
don't.
on top of utilities, right?
Yeah, here, I'm gonna step out, guys.
Jared, time out before you leave, while you're in the hot seat.
Okay.
He's got a question, and it's gonna be on the back of what I talked to you about the other day.
Had to do with speed limits.
Speed limits, okay, that's my expertise.
If we request lowering the speed limits, why is it taking so long to get it done? Why is it so hard to get that done?
I'm gonna give you the process, okay? First thing, what I do is I get a team of people and they go out and we do speed studies, okay? We go basically, we're radaring, okay? And then we looking at the driveway density. How many driveways are there every quarter mile? Things of that nature. Do we have any big main entrances? Things of that nature. And we look at the topography of the roadway. And we can take all that information and we put it into a study, okay? And we analyze the data. We make a recommendation to Baton Rouge, to the chief engineer, Department of Transportation, and he is the only one who can actually change the speed limit.
Let me ask this question. Is there a possibility to put temporary speed limits because of construction work in the area?
We do temporary speed limits for construction on the roadway.
But what about other construction? I know trucks entering the highway, things of that nature. I've seen these signs.
Well,
is there a way that we can handle that without a 2-year process to get the speed limit?
Well, it shouldn't take full 2 years, okay? But, Mr. Sun, let me, we have speed limit signs all over the state of Louisiana. And they're only, and I don't mean to say anything disrespectful to law enforcement by no means, but that speed limit sign is only as good as the enforcement.
Yeah, I got you. But
Period.
In their defense, they say, well, I can't stop them until they're breaking the law. My deal is, we got to work together.
That's right. But,
some of these speed limits are in highly trafficked areas where there's a lot of children around, schools, things of that nature. We don't have time to wait, and you should be able to follow up on our request as to where those spots are. So I'm just trying to throw something out there. If we can't find a way to move forward, at least temporarily, until we can get a permanent solution.
Yeah. Well, we definitely can do that. Okay. We absolutely can do that. But what we did is we went in here and it was just prior to construction. Okay. We went in and I think there was a request here to reevaluate the speed limits. And I don't recall who did it. So we did a speed study through this corridor right here. I think we reduced it going a little bit towards the ferry. We extended the 45 on the east end here, going back towards Creole. But yes, I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do. We do it every day. Mr. Fuel was asking me about another speed limit somewhere else, but it's.
So just to talk about that means I know we're talking about Cameron, Jared, but what we have right now is a reactive problem right here. And I foresee this having the same thing in Hackberry. That's why I was trying to be proactive and get it before the project, because Commonwealth is going to be what we talked about the other day. They're going out of Hackberry. We really need to put a magnifying glass on that.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually dealing with Commonwealth every Friday. I have a meeting with them. Okay. Venture Global. I'm going to express some of these concerns with the head staff there at Venture Global, particularly the crossing issue. I think that's something that we can handle fairly quickly. Let's get a bus over there on the other side, moving in people across somewhere. And there's some opportunity there. But, right now there's 2 LNG facilities being constructed in Cameron Parish. Or I don't know if Woodside's necessarily in Cameron, but
no, it's not.
And we got 2 more coming. So
but the head count on that Commonwealth is about to bump up fairly quickly.
Yeah, but it's relatively low at this time. Okay. It's gonna be low for a little while.
So, Mr. Jared, I had the pleasure with speaking with the engineer at one point in time with Mr. Fuel, so I kind of got educated on what y'all can and can't do, and it sounds like you're pretty familiar. You have to meet a criteria, and until that criteria is met, really and truly, And I think legally, you really can't just say you want to change something because you want to change it. And you said something that stuck with me, and I think everybody's saying the problem here today is to find a solution. To me, the roadways is probably not at the max capacity, because you made a statement that we're getting them there faster than they can park. And knowing that, it's like a cow trail at all these parking lots. It's one way in. What can we do, or what can we all do together to get Venture Global to put in multiple driveways, multiple access points, to get more vehicles in a timely manner out of the way of the flow of traffic? Because I go to town every day, 2-3 times a day sometimes. The flow of traffic is good. You might be behind some speeders, you might have people that's not the smartest and gonna pass you in curves. We get that. Unfortunately, they're breaking the law, and one day they'll get a ticket. But what can we do to move the people out of the flow of traffic in a timely manner? Because until these where these parking spots are and where they're going in, like I said, it's a cow trail. That's where the roadblock is. And I don't think it's because of the state roads. I think it's because of the point of entry.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. Well, first of all, I'm going to answer your question. That's absolutely something we can do, 100%. You know, and we evaluate that. But you know, let's take the intersection in Creole there by the new gas station, Mechanics. Okay, you know, that is a stop controlled intersection. You know, in the afternoons, I'm sure it backs up.
It backs up a little bit.
Okay, is that queue at that location? Because I don't know. Is that queue at that location a larger queue than southbound on 27 at basically Chesson's parking lot?
In my opinion, Chesson's is more of a great deal than there, because you might wait a couple minutes at the red light, but they move you through there pretty good.
Yeah.
And I live right there. I watch it every day. I wait till the traffic stops before I go to leave. But it flows there. Does it back up? Is it normal to have to wait a minute or two right there? No. But unfortunately, there's construction, and look, it's not going nowhere. You have to deal with it. But in Cameron, there's the issues getting in, and where Chesson's parking is. You know, you back up for miles. They're getting a little better, but I think if they had multiple ways and a better parking routine, so to speak, I don't think it's the state highways that's the issue. I think it's like you said, you're getting them there faster than they can park.
You know, every park and ride that we've ever issued a permit for, we've had to go back and basically educate them on how to properly operate the park and ride. Yes, it's been going on since Sasol, since Cameron LNG. We've gone in and, you know, basically told them we're fixing to shut it down, or they're going to start parking them correctly.
So can you do that right here in town? Let's get the ball rolling.
Well, we will, but I'm just hearing that y'all having all these issues on this roadway right here. You know.
And guys, that's going back to knowing who's the right person to call, who to report it to.
And that's what we need y'all's help with. We don't know that. We got our own. You guys are up there as our officials, and we need you to help us get that direction. Just like talking to the state representatives. I can call them all day. They're not going to call me back. No. But they'll talk to y'all whenever y'all go up to Baton Rouge and hang out with them. So we need y'all's help to get us that.
Yeah.
We're not getting it. We ain't never got it. We need that.
But guys, I want to say something to Mr. Cole. Is that right? Look, now, you can call me anytime. Anytime you want. That is your right to be able to call your local DOTD office and say, look, we got this problem. Help me. That's what we do. We don't have to, you can call them, but you don't have to call them. You can call us directly.
Y'all, you say y'all having problems getting them off the road. Okay. Probably fixing to bring in another 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 workers.
I don't believe, I'm gonna give you.
You got a card?
I'm just saying,
I do.
you got a problem now. What kind of problem you gonna have in another year with all this extra work?
They're starting to man up right now. This
Yeah,
is about to get bigger and bigger.
About to take off.
You about
So
halfway
we have
there.
trouble now. Now ain't nothing compared with the fixing.
Yeah, they're gonna shove 8 to 10,000.
I'm just saying, you're going to have to draw a line sooner. This is it. No more work.
Hey, guys. When
And
they
I
were
know it goes above you.
look, this is way bigger than Jared Shomo. Okay, I can tell you that. But look, I'm gonna just give you an example of things we've dealt with. Okay.
And the cramming ain't even got here.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. But
We ain't even started on this yet.
But look,
We gotta get ready.
Cameron LNG initially submitted permits for basically about 4,500 workers on their site. Okay, in a much higher density population area.
Yeah.
Okay, all their workers were coming through sulfur and everything. I'm sure you guys know, y'all probably lived it as well. But at peak construction, they were at like 12,800 workers, something of that nature. They severely underestimated what their workforce needs were. And I hate to say it, we're at their mercy.
Yeah.
Because all we can do is say, how many workers you gonna have? Okay, we're gonna have 4,500. We're gonna deal with 4,500 today. And then, next week they said, man, we're in a bind. We got to go to 8,000. What do we do? And we work it out. But it takes conversations like this to get a solution.
I understand, but I mean, I know they built all these parking lots here, and then, okay, you got shifts. You start filling these, what you gonna do? Do a 6-hour shift?
What
Cross them? Then you back up in the morning, lunch.
We make sure when we talk to them about their shifts. The primary rule is to stay out of school traffic. We try to keep everybody coming in before school and get them out going after school. Now, what's a challenge is the 4-day, and no disrespect to y'all, but that 4-day school week, you typically have a longer school day, right? Okay.
I live on the corner of School Street. 4 o'clock, they're waking you up. Now, since they put the J brakes, I don't hear the trucks no more.
Yeah.
But from 4 o'clock in the morning till 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, that road is home.
Yeah.
2:30 in the evening to 5 o'clock, you can't even get out my driveway.
You don't want to
That's when the school bus is coming and going. So you got all this traffic morning and evening, the school bus is running.
Just come right around in them hours. You'll understand.
Well, you ain't riding around. You ain't riding around nowhere in them hours.
For the sake of time, let's Mr. Jared share his card with you guys.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's an awesome resource.
Yeah.
If he just like me, if he don't answer, he will call you back. So.
I have one question before you go. I heard you say that y'all have the power. Did I go that correct? To shut down these parking lots when they're not running.
Well,
you said.
Well, I said it. I said it, but I didn't mean it. Okay, we can threaten. We can threaten.
Who has had the power? Who thought of to put this big parking lot on Trosclair Road on that curve? Who thought that was going to be a good idea? If it's backing up on these straightaways like Chesholes and other places, who thinks that's going to be safe?
Property owner.
Yeah. Who gives the permits for that is what I.
Guys, if it was up to me, if it was my decision, we'd have every park and ride right at I-10. It's not my decision.
That's what we want.
That's what I just want to know.
But I'll trade 40 workers for one bus or 40 vehicles for one bus any day.
Yeah, but the buses can be just as bad too, man.
But
drivers ain't qualified.
yeah.
They just pay for their
I was just curious about who signed off.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
for the sake of time, let's let the next gentleman from DOTD come up.
Clayton Cormier, the Assistant District Administrator of Engineering here in the 5 Parish area. I just want to give a few updates on the permits that you guys spoke of. I'll talk about both of them. The first one is the turn lane here at Venture Global for the access. That is a three lane section that is going to be constructed. We are working with Venture Global weekly. I meet with them personally. Jared is sometimes with me in those meetings also. We meet with Venture Global and their engineering consultant to produce those plans and get plans available for delivery for the construction. We are working on a phased-in construction, I can tell you, working with those guys. Their plan was to start probably, I guess, a while back, but they did not meet the criteria that we put towards them. There's utility conflicts. There was trees. There's issues with the marsh. Lots of utilities to move, and there's lots of requirements to meet with super elevation, geometry, and all the guidelines when it comes to federal AASHTO guidelines. And so we're making sure that their guidelines are up to date. So that's that permit. We're working with them now. It is most likely going to be a phased in construction where they start the south side first. The north side of that roadway will be subsurface drainage throughout. So those ditches will be closed in on the north side of the roadway to be able to widen the roadway. That is that turn lane. The other turn lane we spoke of, or you guys have mentioned, is Chessons. We are in the final stages of approving that permit as we speak today. We are working to sign the highway modification. Our headquarters office is in the process of signing that. Also, if it has not been signed, I'd be surprised if sitting here today. It will be signed any day now. We are trying to schedule a pre-construction meeting to move forward with that turn lane at Chessons, and that will alleviate and relieve. With both of these, the concern is the construction. They'll be required to construct off-peak hours. That's the number one thing. We are putting restrictions on their construction time frame, and the roadway must be back open to traffic during peak hours. So they're going to have little sections of roadway they'll be able to work on at a time. It'll take longer for them to construct it that way, but it's to alleviate the traffic problems during construction. So we are working with them weekly on this, and we're stressing that to those guys. So that's the updates I have on them. If you have any questions, I can answer them.
Yes, how long is the turning lane going to be at Chessons?
The turning lane, it's
like for the southbound to come around. How far is that going to extend?
It's the turn lane is based on the queue and the traffic analysis that was conducted to make sure that the amount of cars that can be parked. It's over a quarter, and there's some obstacles. There's like a street that it has to kind of tie into.
Do you know how far it backs up right there?
Yeah, all the way past Bootleg Road.
Well, I was gonna let him answer.
No, I don't know how far it backs up today. No.
There about 4 o'clock, heading down this direction.
All the way to the curb.
It backs up all the way to Parish Line.
Well, right. You have to understand that when you're a 2-lane roadway, one car, it's going to back it up completely. If you have a turning bay, cars will be able to turn.
But there's a 100 turning to 3 going south, so that 100's going to stop. You still got 50 blocking.
It's not going to solve anything except it's going to shorten up the line just a little bit, but you're still going to be backed up.
Guys, it does make a world of difference.
It's a quarter mile, yes.
LNG, they made a world of difference.
But we're behind the 8 ball once again. So now we're going to be dealing with plant traffic and then construction in the middle of it. And so it's like, you're late. You had your 3-year gap to probably solve a lot of these problems off the first plant, but now you're going to be hitting us all around the clock. It's reality.
So,
right?
when that's discussed right here for a second, when we're talking about them coming afterwards, who applies for this? Like, who applies for these road widthening? Is that the project itself?
The permit, it's a highway modification. Who applies? The applicant is Venture Global.
Okay, so it comes from the actual. The reason I'm asking is because I like I said, this is a very reactive meeting. But when you start thinking ahead for Commonwealth, I mean, now they're just now breaking dirt. Do you wait? I mean, is that Commonwealth to push to widen the road? Because that's the kind of things that we need to be looking ahead on and learning from, previous projects.
Those conversations are had. Our traffic engineer is 100% involved. He requires traffic a traffic impact analysis. Those traffic impact analysis determine if where turn lanes are required. A lot of times turn lanes, if you've seen when we had other developments in the area, the turn lanes were not just at access points. It was turn lanes required upstream or downstream at intersections and other areas that they impacted. So it's not just access points. Those are determined by the traffic impact analysis.
Pre-construction though, you're not gonna get any traffic impact analysis information.
It's based on trip generation that they developed that's sent to our traffic engineer and is approved by our traffic section.
Kinda like,
Work.
kinda like we're gonna use 4,500 workers, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, any other specific questions?
Do you have any specific questions?
What's the timeline of getting the construction done on these turn lanes? Like once you say y'all about to have them.
So the timeline is not up to DOTD. DOTD approves a permit. Once we approve a permit, that's up to the applicant to procure a contractor. They have to procure a contractor, and they are working with multiple contractors on the one at Chesson's currently. They've had one bid that I'm aware of. They're working to maybe look at other contractors to see. So we can't give you a timeline. We approve a permit, and we give them that time frame to build it.
Yes. If it's anything like these power poles,
A year.
that's gonna, good Lord, we're gonna wait on that for a long time.
Look, y'all gotta remember, guys, everybody works on a budget, and I'm sure DOTD's not gonna come and build a big road and all these turning lanes until it is a problem, because at the start of it, they didn't even know if CP2, the permit was gonna pass in legislative. So they're not just gonna go because they're on a budget and they gotta find funds. I'm pretty sure just to get this done, they probably had to rob Peter to pay Paul to get this done.
Yeah, I will let you guys know that not only am I over permits here for this area, but I also deal with project development. And with project development, we've looked at what it's going to cost for the entire Cameron Parish to repave and resurface the roadways all the way through the whole loop from 397 at the roundabout, circling all the way back to Hackberry, all the way through. We have every section on a list. We have the cost. It's been submitted. We're looking at it. So those things are there. We understand as an agency the issues you guys have. We understand the traffic, the amount of traffic that's going to destroy the roadways in the future, right? We understand that. We have to preserve the roadways before they get in a poor condition to where the cost becomes double or triple to take care of those roadways. So we're looking at that. They're on the list. They're there.
So that's taxpayer money that pays for a lot of that, huh?
That's all taxpayer dollars. That comes out of our regular budget for the state of Louisiana or for our 5 parish area.
Everybody down here asked for that, but we haven't paid for it. They sitting over here making billions of dollars, ruining our roads, taking our money. You guys are all okay with that? I know it's how the world works, but you can speak up, say something. That's how it works, right?
They're gonna pay some taxes.
A bit, maybe.
No, ain't no maybe about it. That's what the projection was up there. They're gonna be paying taxes.
Yeah, we're making our local reps, and those guys are aware of this. We let them know what it costs, the dollar amount to repair these roadways, and hopefully they're having those conversations.
We got our families on these roads. We're having to pay for it. I mean, the people of this town and this parish they're getting it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and y'all let them give it to us. That's what's bad. Like, what are y'all gonna do? Are y'all gonna do anything?
The 2 new red lights on 397 where they put in that truck stop. Did the truck stop have to pay for those? Did they do the design? I know they have to run all.
You're speaking of Quick Trip, is that correct? The developer was Quick Trip in that location. They are funding that entire improvement, which is traffic signals and widening of the roadway.
Okay,
that is correct.
Put in 2 signals, so I kind of envisioned the same thing would work possibly at Chesson's and even Hackett's Corner, and then where they're making the turn lane here. Now they're talking about diverting traffic possibly down Bobby's Lane and down PHI Road, whatever the name of that road is. If the contractor or company that owns the project is willing to put that money in, is there a way to build? Because that's a really good design, it appears. And it really looks like it's gonna help that situation, and that's just help local traffic right there on I-10 and 397. But that same scenario would possibly work there, because I'm sure certain those are triggered lights. So depending on what kind of traffic flow, depends on when the lights are on and off.
Right, they're gonna.
Right?
I'm assuming they're adaptive, Jared.
They will be.
at some point. They will be.
So the same thing on trip peak traffic times, if they were put up at Chestnut or right here where they're turning into the main driveway or Bobby's Lane or any other intersection that we have, that they would, so if there was no traffic, it would stay green. And if there is traffic, it would shift the patterns to where the traffic would flow better, so the school bus wouldn't be waiting for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I won't speak on traffic signals. I'm not expert on traffic signals, but I will tell you where your first comment is applicants and developers that apply for developments with the state of Louisiana are responsible, and part of it, their responsibility is most of the time, like analysis, as was mentioned earlier, will determine all those improvements and features required, and those features and improvements required for the route, just like you see on 397, are their responsibility.
But that speeds up the process, doesn't
it?
It could speed up the process.
I'm not going to say it speeds up the process, but it's part of the process.
They got the process done by the time the truck stop open, so something got sped up there. It appears to be.
Yeah, it's
good planning and coordinating.
So
yeah.
all I'm saying is that same similar type design should work in those applications that we're discussing, that we're talking about, the ones that they're having problems with.
Yeah, it's possible it could. That's something our traffic engineer could evaluate and look at.
Well, and something you're not considering is the applicant of this is experiencing truck traffic. They got stores from one end to the other. They probably got a design already proven, where this is not such in the entrance of these parking rides.
I haven't seen it actually work yet, but the appearance, it looks like it's gonna really work.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
And I think the same design will work well there, or something real similar.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And then you're not dependent on a bunch of people, because every day you're gonna have different people working that traffic. And like I say, one day you go to the traffic's flowing fine because you got somebody that knows what's going on, and then you put somebody that's working, a jailer down there in the car that has no idea what's going on with traffic, and they botch the whole deal. So it's inconsistent. Those lights should be pretty consistent if they're working properly.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you, guys.
How's it going? My name is Bo East. I'm the Assistant District Administrator of Operations for Lake Charles. And I'm just going to talk to you about the ferry. I am over the ferry. Right now we have 2 captains. That is why we're down to our schedule that we are currently. We do have another captain that is in training, a third that we're hoping is ready to drive the Cameron 2, hopefully within 2 months. The Cameron 2 is different than the Acadia. It's a different vessel, and making sure that they can operate that vessel safely is first and foremost. So we got, so if anybody calls in sick, captains, deckhands, things like that, yes, there are times when we do have a shortage. There are times when we have mechanical issues, Coast Guard, anything else that related to the Marine lifestyle. So I know it's an inconvenience. We're working on it. We have a captain that's just opened up. I think we have a couple of applicants, so we'll start interviewing, trying to get more. We have 5 openings for captain, but we only have 3 that are filled. Our 4th captain is retiring. So like I said, we're only down to 2 active captains and 1 trainee. So if you have any,
have a new ferry coming?
yes, sir. We do have 2 new ferries that'll be coming. The first one, the Hollow Beach, should be here in roughly around June. So
Y'all have captains for them already?
So the ferry is a different thing, and we are actively working to have as many captains as possible to operate the vessels. So yeah, and if anybody knows any captains down here that would like to work on the ferry, we definitely take them. Offhand, I couldn't tell you that, sir.
Hey, for right now, they're going to keep shoving 18-wheelers on that thing, because that's usually what backs the traffic up. Man, they'll put 3 or 4, 5 of them on there, and you get 15 cars, and everybody's backed up all the way into town. And I mean, I get it, you're waiting in line, but damn.
The crew's going to actively continue to do what they've been doing to move traffic as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I do understand it's an inconvenience, though. I'm sorry?
They used to put 50 cars on that ferry. 48, something like that.
Just passenger vehicles,
Yeah.
not trucks. Yeah. When you have bigger trucks, I mean, y'all have gone a long time with the all field, right? 2005, everything kind of changed. Before that, it was the all field pipe, everything coming down. So I mean, it's been 20 years.
That would help. One or two, let the next two catch on the next run. You get more parts. You're moving more people. I get it. The trucks are important to the industry and they're waiting in line, but the object of that is to move people. And when you're shoving 3 or 4 18-wheelers on there, you're not moving people.
That's something I can relate to the crew, and depending on yeah, I understand that. Anything we can do more efficiently, we'll look at. I'm sorry, sir. What?
So many trucks on there, so many lanes for trucks and run cars. Because if they got 10, 15 trucks, you're gonna be sitting there a while.
Well, and the way everybody approaches the ferry, those 15 trucks are probably first, and the cars are behind those 15. Correct?
You probably don't know, but actually, I want to say it was in the 80s when it was proposed to put a bridge there. You probably don't know about it, but I'm just wondering. I know you got stopped.
There's always been talks, but at this moment, you have new ferry boats coming, so I would not foresee a bridge coming anytime soon.
And if it grabs traction to what they're talking about, maybe there is a necessary lane for 18-wheelers to park in.
Yeah, just like
if that really does
so
have
many
some
lanes for
traction.
18-wheelers,
So-
and then for cars.
Yeah, it's for the future. The future, we're supposed to have. We'll have 2 new boats coming here. We're looking at hopefully having. We've already had stage 0 on a new landing where we'd be able to stage 2 boats. One would be on the side where they'd be able to do maintenance and everything else, and then the other one would be actively crossing. So overall, that's our goal. We're just not there yet.
So y'all getting 2 new boats and only using one?
Correct. But you can't use 2. The channel's too short. There's no possible way safely to cross one on each side. That's not feasible.
Okay, any other questions? Just for time's sake, we'll try to keep this thing moving.
What's the status on the privatization of the ferry?
So DOTD did get an unsolicited bid.
Say again?
An unsolicited bid for privatization, and they are working through that currently.
Is that the plan?
I'm sorry?
Is the plan to privatize?
Again, DOTD received an unsolicited bid, and legislation and everything has been brought up through LTA, and they're discussing it. And at some point, it will either be approved or not approved. But DOTD has received one, and they're in talks.
That's a legislative decision.
Correct.
Y'all must have got 8 ferries.
Y'all still got a long run too.
The crossing. I mean, y'all have a unique crossing right here. They dock 86 times a day, 43 in the first 12 and 43 in the next. I mean, you crossing, so you have to have a captain that is competent and confident in what they do, and not take out the fender system and wreck and everything else. Because once you do that, we're shut down, and then you're back to the Acadia side load, things like that. So we're trying to make sure that we do, the safety first, because we do have public on there, right? That's loss of life if something does happen. But hopefully the other captain can be ready and trained within the next 2 months. We have openings that have closed. We're going to be actively interviewing, deckhands, everything else. So we're pushing through and planning.
Your captains are making about 20% less than your going rate. Is there anything you do in terms of looking at a pay raise to keep ships complement?
So our current captains are, they're paid that they're currently at. But as we're hiring people, there are avenues that we can look at trying to increase wages.
Any other questions?
I have a question. I'm unclear in who the talks are between, and I heard legislative, which suggests to me our legislators, and I heard state. So who are the talks between about the privatization?
So LTA received an unsolicited
What does
bid.
LTA stand for?
Transportation Authority.
Yeah, Louisiana Transportation Authority. And they also work with our Secretary of DOTD.
And so who would the talks be between
between the contractor that has issued the unsolicited bid, LTA, and DOT secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bo.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on traffic?
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Wendell.
Talk to Wendell.
My name's Brian DeBarge. I live at 120 Iron Street. Wendell, I know you say all this traffic we had back in the 80s with the trucks and all field. When have you ever took 45 minutes to get from School Board Road to town?
Well, and maybe again, that's during peak traffic time with this deal, because not everybody in the oil field traveled in and out at the same time, so it's spread.
Well, I know you kept saying about the all field traffic. We've never had traffic like we got right now.
Because you didn't have one condensed area like you had. They were going
And you see this? I'm gonna show this to you. What do you think that is? It comes from that cement on it, right to my house.
Oh, it looks like they're mixing great dust.
See that one? That's the shit we gotta deal with every day. My damn, everything, my car, my truck, I can wash it today, tomorrow, gotta wash it again. And we breathing this shit. And y'all ain't doing a damn thing about it.
Hey, who's the organization or the go-to? I know when you do construction jobs like that, you can't be dusting out the neighbors and different things like that.
This is not dust, this is
Well,
cement. This is not a dust coming off of the plant, this is coming out of that cement plant.
They have air permits just like everybody else.
Correct, but at the end of the day, it's all checks and balances. If they're creating something and it's harming somebody else off-site or their property, they're responsible for it.
And it's going directly in the water, coming over the water, coming right to my house.
Y'all live right next.
My name is Philip Dyson, 109 School Street. About a week ago, Brian come to my boat. We tied side by side. We was heading shrimp, and come over there. He said, "Man, look." He takes his phone out. He takes a picture, and I look behind me, and there's a dust cloud, cement coming towards the boat. I turned my back. He said, "That video on it." He said, "Man, you taste that?" I said, "No, I don't want to taste that." I mean, just covered the boat with it. 2 deckhands, me and Brian. Every morning, I got a pressure washer. I got to wash my wife's car every 2 or 3 days sometimes. She don't drive it no more. She don't even get out of the house no more. Let's go to the doctor. Our boats are covered with this cement every day. Every day. When you got south or southeast wind, we wash our boats. We got to wash the cabin, the rigging, the hulls. Get off shipyard 3 months ago. You all see outside of our boats. The cement is sticking to the hulls of our boats.
Has any of y'all made contact with Venture Global?
No.
There ain't none of them here. How did you make contact
I
with
mean,
them?
Brandon spoke to a guy with Venture Global. I didn't know if,
There's a reason. I gave him a list, but
buy them out.
nobody's seen anything.
Still ain't heard nothing back.
But y'all should be able to do that.
Still haven't
right?
answered his questions about the air control either.
Our windows on our vehicles. Pressure washing our vehicles. I turn the windshield wipers on while I'm washing the vehicles. Cement is sticking to the windows of my vehicles. I got tinted windows on the inside. I can't even see out the side windows or the back window. I cannot see out. Only place you can see out of this vehicle I drive is where the windshield wipers are. This is how much cement dust they're putting in this town. Like he said, is it getting in our lungs? Well, hell yeah, it's getting in your lungs. Eventually, it's going to kill you. So who we got to see about this cement?
They Venture Global, but I mean, we can definitely have a discussion.
I ain't took no pictures yet, but Brian got a good one off my deck of my boat the other day. I turned my back to it because I didn't want to breathe it. He said, "You taste that?" I said, "Hell no, I ain't tasting that. I got my mouth closed."
How far were you from?
Probably, what, about half a mile,
500 yards, 600 yards?
No,
further, but it's still, it comes straight to us, I mean.
Yeah, it was probably what,
Oh, we went right over the town and our boat.
probably 100 feet high, 150 feet high.
It goes back to, they gotta contain it. I mean, you look at them when they paint stuff or doing jobs they created, they make barriers, they put walls up. I get it's a big job, but, and there's a few of us here, but they gotta be good neighbors like they claim.
You can go there any given day, they got the conveyor belt from here to that chair from the river. And that stuff is steady going in the river.
And they have to, like I said, they have to be aware of it.
My grandson pressure washed my house 2 weeks ago. And it's cement gray now within 2 weeks. The dust from the cement plant.
Okay, so Mr. President, do you want staff to schedule a meeting with DEQ and kind of present these concerns and see exactly what's within our authority and what we can address and not address?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be them and Metro Local for sure.
But I'll schedule the meeting. We'll coordinate a meeting with staff, DEQ, and Metro Local.
They wanna get some of us in there, we'll come.
Hey, if you don't mind, let's take a little 5-minute recess and then we'll come right back to it.
That one drug out a little while.
Took one. I couldn't wait anymore. You're talking about Perry too. I know that day. I'm not. That's why I went up here. Sir? I actually requested them to come to this meeting, but I didn't hear back from them. We have a meeting on Thursday. So I better get moving.
There ain't no way we can get in one of them meetings with you.
Well, I asked them to come to this meeting and they never responded. So now I'm gonna call and see if
Did
they
y'all
can
ask
just get.
anyone from Venture too?
I did. Port board, yes, but the port, Kim Monte, she's in charge of coordinating a meeting. And that was today before we set the meeting. But she did tell me that anybody that wants to talk about anchoring, call me. If there's something we can't address. But as soon as I can get a meeting scheduled, well, I might have to go to the.
Well, I know this one's kind of dragging out a while. Hopefully we can do it ease.
But it's good because now it's on the official record. I'm saying like when things are on Facebook, we can't engage. We need like an official concern, so when we go sit down with them, like this is what we heard at our board meeting.
Yeah.
So this is a good start.
Yeah. And maybe next meeting if we have another one, we have it.
Right.
Board and everybody here.
I was just telling her Kim couldn't be here. She had an obligation that was scheduled a few months ago, but she told me to tell y'all if we can't answer anything about anchoring in the loop, to meet her. So she'll schedule a meeting with you guys, and she'll hear it, and then she'll be able to react to that too. But we need things like in writing on public record for us, so when we go meet with these state agencies, we have an official document. We can't just go and say, well, we heard on Facebook this, like they won't respond to that. Not saying that it's not a legitimate claim, but they don't respond to hearsay. It has to be something like an official record of the parish. This is a good start.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful that they.
Yeah.
And stating all these ideas, it might not be something they can do, but it might give them an idea of what they can do. You know, but so you provided some really good ones.
Running wild with it.
Yeah, it'll give them something to go back and sit down and.
Well, I know. You mess with the government, that's, understand that, just like, when the government does a project, if you could probably do it in a week, it's gonna take them a year. I understand how that game works,
Cause it's just so much bull. And the bad thing with the LED,
Glad we got it.
a lot of it comes down from the government. A lot of this is coming straight down from the government. Just like he was called, the government was called about the stuff over I'm not getting that. I'm not gonna get that because, you know, they might quit funding it, might quit funding my school, you know, my elections and all that. Hey, I understand, not by me.
Like Chris said, his deputy told me I have it on camera for this. We were at my front
I don't
porch.
hear you complaining about it.
Yeah, at my front porch with camera, and he said he was trying to pull it. He said, I did not write a ticket on here. I've got video proof, I've got license plate, and my camera caught it, the phone caught it, and you know, I got proof.
Well, you heard the sheriff, he's willing to do it based off of an affidavit, so
Yeah.
that's progress.
Chris progress a lot.
Yeah, that's progress.
Over the last little while, he's got his game
He's getting held to it.
Yeah,
It's hard to get comfortable and get complacent.
But you gotta figure. It comes to kiosk, should never miss it. You gotta figure he's a cook.
Let me turn this microphone off.
I don't
All
care.
right, go ahead.
I only tell, it don't matter, I only tell the truth.
He ran it the whole time that Ron Johnson was in there last term. I know. Ron was lost on Tress's comp, second number every day. I'm telling you.
Kiosk is horrible for us.
Are we on air pollution, is where we're at? I did request someone from DEQ to attend, they didn't respond, so hopefully they'll respond to a request for. And then, ready? Cause we got a meeting at 1:30, some of us. Which one?
DOTD.
There's the Bow East,
The other one.
Clayton, Cormier. That's the one I don't know.
Wait, the first one showed is what he said.
Hold on.
His last name. Jared, yeah.
All I heard was Jared. All I could think about is go to Jared. He went to Jared. It's probably on their website.
Yeah, that's what I figured, if I could get close enough. Hey Katie, anybody else requested to be here that didn't come? I heard you say Jim.
We requested DQ, but
You mind if that goes on record? Or in my.
I mean, they only had a few days' notice.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like we had a month in advance.
Exactly.
What is that?
Okay, 12 o'clock, we're gonna go ahead and get the meeting back going, and we're gonna, didn't sound like there was any more discussion around traffic issues. Number 4 on the agenda is air pollution violations, and I will go ahead before we get started on this to let everybody know, and I let Brandon know that this is not regulated through Cameron Parish Police Jury, but we're here to listen, we're here to talk, and we possibly can set up a meeting with DEQ moving forward. So, guess we'll start here.
BJ Cole, 105 Till Street, Cameron. That was one of my main topics last week, and I get it. You guys really can't do nothing, but you actually can. Have any of you made any calls to DEQ? Are you aware of what's going on out there? The violations from 2022 up until current, do any of you know what they are? Do you know how many? This is your town, right? Any of y'all have a clue how many? Nothing. Nothing at all. Seriously? It's all on the DEQ website. I look at it every single day. Back in 2022, they dropped 180,000 pounds of natural gas right across the street right there. You know how much that is? It's enough to support the residents in Lower Cameron for 2 years. But instead of using it in our homes, we got to breathe it in. And you guys know nothing about that. So are y'all going to do anything? Y'all going to reach out to DEQ? You're going to write letters? What are you going to do? I want to know what you're going to do. Because you can do something.
Well, I know the first thing that I did, I spoke with somebody and we allowed them, I believe they got with Miss Katie, to put up the air monitors at the library here. So we might not be aware of it a whole lot. I see Miss Alyssa back there raising her hand. We don't know a whole lot about it because we got a lot of things to do. But again, DEQ sounds familiar with it. It's what DEQ is going to do because they are the ones that cover this.
But we need y'all to help push it. You guys can write letters just like I did to them. They're in a dispute right now, and they're gonna only charge them $245,000 for, I don't know, 2,500 or 3,000 permit violations, where they released. Do what now?
They're fining on that.
They're fine. The agreement, the settlement right now is $245,000 for. Yeah, it's like $70 million if they paid outright. $245,000. There's 2,500 violations plus. That comes down to what, $80 a violation divided by the 120 people in Cameron. Every time they release, that's 80 cents. That's all it costs for our lives, for us to breathe that. You guys okay with that? You're not. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to message DEQ? You're going to call them up? Can you prove to us that you guys are actually going to do something? I'm not getting much commitment here.
I said bring it to a regular meeting and do a vote.
I tried to last week and talk about it, and I got shut down. But we're kicking the can. You guys can go send an email out today. Super simple. Write to them. You're our voice upstairs. You're the officials for the community, correct? It's your community, our community. You guys, can I get a commitment from y'all or no?
So, Mr. Cole, just to give you the process, because it's something I had to learn. Right now, as it stands, the jury as a whole cannot send any letters. We can schedule meetings in that because until we put a vote and it passes unanimously, we cannot do nothing. Now, I could do it as District 5 juror, which all of that does is it makes the industry to where when y'all have an issue, because it already happened with multiple industry friends that I had lifelong friendships got broke over doing it as a juror on the behalf of somebody because it's the right thing to do. All of that did was build a wall up. Now I know Mark Davis, District 5, can't call a lot of the industries to do it. So we should do it in a meeting and all that to where it holds more weight coming from the jury than a juror.
So can you put it on the agenda for the next meeting?
Oh, I can.
Are you going to?
We're going to look into the.
Come on, I need some commitment. These people need commitment, and you're not giving it to us.
Commitment without getting facts. I mean, you can't just.
He got facts in it.
Look, let me show you something. Let me show you something.
Make sure we try to get it scheduled within the next 2 weeks.
I went and pulled all of my medical records for my kids, my 4 kids, from 2021 to 2025. In 2021, we had 11 visits to the doctor in the year, the whole year. From 2022 to 2025, had over 230 visits. That's almost one a week. That's a pretty big uptick for right about the time this started happening. That's my kids. That's not me. That's my kids. That's concerning, and I got it all right here to back it up. That bothers me pretty bad. It ought to bother y'all too. If it were y'all kids in there doing that, you'd be doing something about it. Right or wrong? I need you guys to agree or something. You're just standing there staring at me. Do you agree?
You're 100% correct.
Thank you. Somebody. So can you guys do anything as far as state representatives? Anything at all? Reach out to them. Give us their contacts. What can y'all do?
First step is going to be the meeting with DEQ. And we need to have I'd like to have that information that you have. If you get me a copy.
It's all on the website. This has been the.
Your stuff's not on the website.
Oh yeah. No, you're not. My medical records, we can go through that, but that's my personal stuff. I'll show it to you, but I'm not going to give it to you.
I understand. Well, my point being is, those are the type of things that we need to bring to DEQ's attention.
They have it all.
What they can do. Well, they don't have all of it. They have the stuff that.
Yeah. Do you guys know when this public notice went out by any chance? No? If you guys, the public notice for the DEQ to submit a letter for them to have a hearing on it, the public hearing, do you know when it went out? If y'all don't know. For CP1.
For CP1?
Yeah.
Oh, that's years ago.
No. If you don't know, how do you expect us to know? It went out February 12th of this year. For CP1 permit violations.
For the 7.
Yeah. For public comment. Page 9 in the back of the paper. I happened to find it, real fine print. Got a letter in just in time. But if you guys don't know about it, how do you expect us to find out about it? I just find it crazy that you don't know the issues that are happening in your own community that you represent.
Do you think these agencies are calling us and sending us an email saying, hey guys, we're having this? If they do, then the staff's not telling us. So
I feel like
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like
I hear you.
If they're not telling you, imagine what they're not telling you. Like there's more.
I agree.
And they self-report, so that's a problem as it is right there. If I spill, I'm gonna say, yeah, well, about half of what I really probably spilled. That's kind of how it works, huh? You think they're not doing the same thing out there? I done heard about all the stuff on Monkey Island, the animals and stuff. I bet nobody's heard about that, but man, these plants are a problem, and they're going to destroy Lower Cameron Parish. And you guys and the guys after you are going to sit up there and let it happen because you can't do nothing. Can't do nothing. You guys are going to have to start speaking up for the people, not the industry. And that's what you're doing. That's what it feels like you're doing.
So, Mr. BJ, just to cut in real quick, because this is already happening as we speak. As the jury and as a juror, the state's well aware of it, as you know, as all of us know. They're aware of it. A lot of stuff we can't control. This is one of them things.
I know.
You're here beating a dead horse. We're listening to you, but look, I brought it up to Mr. Carl Balcom on the spill in the back with him. You know what I got told? Oh, BG got with us. We know about it. They told us. Well, are you going to come ride with me in a boat? You know what? They didn't want to.
Don't have time.
Wildlife and Fisheries didn't want to go ride. But I have the emails to show that I called and I did tell them. The state knows about it, and apparently the state's not going to do nothing about it, or they're doing what they're supposed to be. They're getting their little fine. So I hear you saying we could tell them. Look, I've been telling them. They ain't even hearing from me by now.
But they ought to be hearing from every one of y'all.
I agree with that. Unfortunately, they're not. But what I'm getting at is, even with me beating them up, and I can pull my phone out and got it from start to finish, they're not listening. So the only other thing I can see is go back to the old Mark. They're going to show up at their house for them to listen. You know what I mean? But it don't work like that. So help us understand what we're supposed to do. Maybe some of these other guys can jump on board with me. Or
Can we just try to get, I mean, we've never met really with DEQ about any of this.
I've invited them here. I don't think they'll come.
No, we'll meet with them. If we have to go to them, we will. get educated on the process, how they notify people. We can put in special conditions requesting that they notify us directly. Let us work with DEQ first. I mean, our next police jury meeting is in 2 weeks. We can guarantee we'll meet with someone from DEQ before the next police jury meeting, and we can provide an update at the next police jury meeting. But give us 2 weeks to meet with them first so we can educate ourselves.
One of these plants has a big release like that. I can't remember ever hearing anything. No alerts, no shelters in place, nothing. How does that work? What's that?
A bomb threat.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. How does that work? This plant has a huge release. Are we just kind of up to our own to figure it out, or KPLC? Because that's the only way I hear about stuff. But as local officials, do you guys put anything out, or do you have? I mean, how do we know?
I'm sure you worked in the oil field before, Mr. BJ.
Do it right now.
Okay, so when they have a spill, you call what, state police, you let all the officials know. That's how it gets out and they take care of it. Just because there's, say, I'm gonna just be a realist. Just because BG's next door, they don't have to tell us their every move, and they don't. They're gonna do what the law tells them to do. Just like you stated you work for oil field. I work for many docks. If we got a lease out, the first thing we didn't do, we didn't sit here and call Mr. DeVarge there and say, hey, look, I work at the stone dock. We had an oil spill or a fuel spill. Look, we just want to let you know. That's not how it works.
But there's got to be, like the pipeline bust over there, there was a shelter in place that went out for that.
Correct, because the officials thought it was necessary to do it in the process and the steps which you have to take.
Being in your town, you can't hold them to do that.
We could ask them, but they're going to do what they only could do
in your town, so they run it. That's crazy.
Have the meeting. Let us have the meeting, BJ.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, even the bomb threat, like, I get it. Some dude wrote it on a porter can or whatever, but when I'm out there, my kids are out in the yard, and I happen to see it and don't have any information, you guys had to have known about that. I know the police got a call about it because they put something out, but we hear about everything from KPLC. I think that's kind of sad.
KPLC finds out things before we do sometimes.
But you guys could put, you don't put nothing out. The sheriff's department don't send nothing out. So if I don't have my phone in front of me, man, I might not hear anything for a while. I mean, I would expect some kind of, like the little ducks alarm to go off. You might want to head north or get your kids out of the yard or something,
Well, one false perception of Cameron Parish Police Jury is that we govern everything. We don't govern everything. We don't get notified. If you don't govern it, you don't get notified of it.
So who governs it? Who's the officials?
Environmental quality.
Some kind of signal along, like y'all got on something.
It's the same thing that if any of these fishermen go over the limit, the police jury don't regulate them. Police jury care less if they go.
But them going over the fish limit ain't affecting my kids' lives.
I'm just telling you, it's wildlife and fisheries.
It's
talking about somebody's life.
It's not going to kill anybody because they caught too many shrimp. That's the problem. You're messing with people and their kids' lives, and it's in your town, but you guys aren't doing anything to help fix it. Or raise concern, or are you that you haven't told me yet?
I like how you sitting here at the table of all part-time public servants, and you expect us to work 40 or 80 hours a week to do something.
Took me 5 minutes to send an email to them. It takes 5 minutes to make a phone call. When y'all up there at Baton Rouge, your little parties, hit one of them guys up. Say, man, we got problems down here. I need you to come in.
You don't make decisions without facts.
I don't understand the problem here. This is happening.
We're going to have a meeting and we're going to go through it. This is the first time that this has been discussed.
It's been going on for 4 years.
And say, look, DEQ, you're well aware of it. And as all of us that I'm pretty sure has no DEQ background say, hey, y'all fucked up and let them get away with 2 cents of a fire.
Hey.
No, I'm just being a realist.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. But you guys have got to do what I'm doing right now and try to get accountability, and you're not doing it.
We are doing it. We hope we're accountable. So you want us to call DEQ? I'm just trying to understand what
do
you're saying.
Something.
I hear you, and you're not making no sense.
Do something. Anything.
We cannot call DEQ and say, hey, it's all y'all's process. You gave them a fine. they're gonna look at us like we're retarded. You know what's gonna happen in the future whenever something's not done, and then we can really hold them accountable. It sounds like they already been held accountable. They just ain't been held accountable how y'all see fit.
I mean, are y'all happy? I mean, you don't think that's fair? For that many violations? They're right here. The facts are in this paperwork.
Paper that's sitting in front of you right now.
Yeah.
I can hold a stack of papers and say that's the facts too. I mean, I don't know. You wasting your time. They don't have to bring it to
It's
us.
what happens. I read that. They done been fined.
This is legitimate stuff, right? And you guys can go look at this anytime you want. It's very simple to find. But you don't care to do it. That's the problem. You guys sit up here and listen, but you don't do anything.
You look to us for solutions. We're the public. You guys are supposed to find solutions. I mean, is that what y'all are here for or not?
We represent you.
Then represent me. You got to do something.
You brought something to us. We got your meeting scheduled. So.
Yeah, so we are gonna get that meeting scheduled. Thank you, BJ. And if you would maybe forward that email that you sent to DEQ requesting that, we could use that to follow up.
Where you can look at every single thing.
Okay, so are you proposing that we hire a full-time employee to do nothing but monitor DEQ website for air quality violations?
I don't care
I'm
who y'all
I'm
hire.
asking, is that, I mean, you're mad at them.
I'm
for
not mad at them.
using their.
We gotta have something.
You can't ever get any of them to come together.
Sitting up there and we'll talk about it.
They're here together, using parish time and resources to hear your concerns, and we're trying to be conductive with this meeting and schedule meetings and express your concerns, but quite honestly, this is one of the first times most of these guys are even hearing actual concerns, and I think we talked about this a while ago. In order for parish staff to work on your behalf with other federal and state agencies, we need something like a public record. We can't just go there with hearsay and say, we're hearing this, we need something in writing. Now that we have something in writing, this is helpful for us. Now staff, we know what to work toward, now we can go and speak on behalf of the jury. But until this meeting, we really didn't have anything that we could react to besides hearsay. So thank you, we appreciate all of you coming today.
That's why we try to get on the agenda like the day after the meeting.
Hey, emails work just as good. Send me or Mary an email about any issue you have going on, and we can react to that. It's just a simple email.
But if
5
we can-
seconds to send an email, send it to us.
The big thing is if we can get in on the agenda in the police jury meetings and we can get y'all to vote on it, then we get to see who's behind us and who's not.
Well, the issue with this is it's not hearsay, it's factual.
Yeah.
DEQ got it, DEQ done that. So what y'all, just like we're supposed to work together to get something good and to do it. If we get y'all, so basically y'all want us to get together on something that's already, hold on, let me finish. Get together on something that DEQ knows about, that doesn't find them. If I'd have to guess, they probably done paid their fine and everything. It done went through the whole legal system, civil system, however it is. You want us as a jury to all get together and vote to call DEQ and tell them that we don't like how they did their job. That's basically what y'all's asking, and that's not us being good stewards as elected officials to call another agency to do that. Now, if it was something that they did not find them for and they didn't know about, 100%, I think
Well, I
that's
just showed y'all, I mean.
correct, and that's why we got to meet with DEQ on things like that. But getting with us to get with DEQ, we put in a vote today. With that being on their website, if I'd have to guess, I don't think no juror is going to vote to call DEQ and send them a letter on something that they done their due diligence, send a fine.
And if this is something near and dear to y'all's heart, it's the same thing as that DOTD rep sitting up there. Y'all could all go to the DEQ office together, unified, and present those facts and present it as a public comment.
And see, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, right there.
But that's
Some
that's
guidance.
what we're trying to tell
We
y'all.
need you guys to back us up as the people. And all the time, it's always, guys go into defense mode because it's the plant or the road. Like, you guys could come together and say, hey guys, why don't you try this or try this as an official view. Go do this. That's what we're looking for. We need you guys to back us up.
It
hasn't happened until last week. We got two of them on the same page, and all of a sudden things are clicking. And even this meeting is better than the ones I've ever been to. Like, we're starting to cover a little ground here.
And I don't know if it's the heat or what, but we're looking for you guys to help us as people.
No,
we need that commitment
it's
from
not
y'all.
heat. It's wanting to serve and help y'all, but we have to talk. We have to communicate. We have to, we can't pick and choose here. We gotta stay focused on what the goal is.
All right, Brandon DeBars, Cameron Parish, 194 Parish Street. Now, just to touch on a few things BJ talked about the air pollution. DEQ issued a 46-page document, of the compliance with the list of numerous allegations of violation. In 2022, they operated 343 days. And out of that time, they was out of compliance 286 of them days in 2022. They only ran correctly for 57 days out of that year. Now, 2022 CP1 is 1.5 million gallons of LNG. That's what that's what it holds. CP2 is going to hold 211 million gallons. So it's double the size. And for their permits, the annual release is 8.5 million tons of greenhouse gases and nearly 750,000 pounds of air pollution. That's what they permitted for. Now, if we look back at the history, and it's not just CP1 and Cameron, it's also in Plaquemines Parish too. Venture Global has a history of not complying with these permits that they are getting permitted for. They go over the limit. So all I'm saying, and y'all can't control DEQ, but y'all can schedule a meeting and y'all can start working together. Say, for example, CP2's coming, y'all look at the history of what CP1 did, y'all meet with them and y'all say, look, that's pretty bad numbers. Now CP2's double the pollution that y'all going to be releasing to the community. And so, say for example, they want to revoke Gale Street, right, Mr. Sonny? They need Gale Street. And because they're going to build a big laydown yard in that whole field north of PHI. They're going to haul in all this stuff, and they want to revoke Gale Street where they can haul it right through the back door there. So y'all have leverage right there. So y'all can use that leverage to hold them to start doing right by the people in this community. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that's fair, but the Gale Street issue is to keep as much traffic off of this main road. We already complained about it.
Yes.
And get it off.
And that's what I asked Miss Sarah Roy and the Venture Global guy that was sitting on my couch last week. I said, well, what's the difference? Y'all worried about the safety on a dead-end little road. What about it coming all the way from Lake Charles on that main road trucked in here? How is that? That should be the least amount of worry of safety, that little road. But that ain't why they doing it. That ain't what they using that for excuse to the safety reasons. But they need that road to where they can haul everything in, and that us community, we just lose access to that road. So any little leverage y'all have to use it as to y'all benefit. And don't just keep voting yes for everything Venture Global wants. If we had 2 or 3 marks, and Mr. Sonny, you stood up big time last meeting, and I'm proud of that, and I will give you all credit. You stood for the people. If we had 2 or 3 marks, Mr. Sonny, up here, there would be a whole lot more getting done for the people. And that's what we need. We need people to stand up with courage and do what's right and unite. When y'all go back there behind the doors, instead of fighting with each other, y'all should be talking about, hey, what can we do? We need to unite. This is our job. We got 2 years left to do right for the people. And that's what we need, because down here, this is miserable. This is terrible. And the only suggestion I see, because there ain't no fixing it, is for y'all to start fighting for us to buy out. Like I said, the first meeting. You use that leverage at Gale Street that they want so badly. You say, hey, y'all want that road? Y'all go around and start working with the people and actually at least having a conversation. Don't just come to one that got spilled all the beans and had a voice at the first meeting. They showed up. Come talk to me. With some help of other officials. So if y'all would reach out to them and start voicing concern, and they should have been here. Port Board should be here. The Venture Global representatives should be here. and so on. Ryan Booyah, he should be here too. They should be here listening to the community of the concerns. So, and the air pollution, that ain't right, man. Like I said, y'all go ride through this town. When y'all leave here today, y'all just look at the oak trees, anything north of the road. Y'all look at it, the houses, the signs, the trees, the leaves, everything. Look at the dust that's on there. And we breathe that in, and my kids breathe that in, and everybody. But guess what? Y'all won't work together. Y'all work together, and y'all have more of these meetings with the community, and I think we can get somewhere. And with that being said, that's all I got to say on the air. Thank y'all.
James Hyatt, P.O. Box 7262, Lake Charles. Appreciate y'all having this meeting. One of the big concerns that was brought up is there is no parish-wide alert system. Pipeline exploded in February. People found out from KPLC. Did you know Venture Global had a massive fire in August and they shut down for about 18 hours? Probably not, and neither did the people across the street. And thank God there was no cascading effects and it didn't get worse. We have been trying to educate the public about these air problems. There is 0 DEQ air monitors in Cameron. The closest one is in Lake Charles. The one that they use for their permits is in Benton. And I won't talk anything bad about the local DEQ office. I've been fighting the same thing we've been talking about. Until there's enough people, even we rally people. We've got 30-something comments to try to get them to hold a public hearing about this ridiculous $245,000 fine. It doesn't mean as much, apparently, to the people in Baton Rouge. But if the police jury will come together and write a letter or sign on to the thing. I've been reluctant because we've had, not this board particularly, but the previous police jury, I've been adversarial because I've been against what's happened here for the last 4 years. But it is. Y'all have a lot of power. I don't know all the power the police jury has, but as elected officials, y'all, at the beginning of each DEQ hearing that they had for each one of these air permits, there's an opportunity for elected officials to speak. And so even there's not a public comment period, there's an opportunity. And I think all of y'all have your heart in the place of you love Cameron Parish and you want to see this be successful, not just by money into the parish eventually, but also for the ability to live here. I think, these are real concerns. This is not some leftist George Soros funded, environmental group trying to talk. What's being emitted and is permitted to be emitted causes concerns. The fact that this was put so close to Cameron means that these people who live in town receive more of this air pollution into their lungs and particulate matter, that cement dust, the black smoke that came off that flare for 2 years. It does increase cardiovascular disease, respiratory distress, nosebleeds, headaches, all these things. It matters, right? And I know you want to love your neighbors, and I appreciate you having this meeting. And this is not the best forum to actually getting people to work, what are the concerns, but I appreciate that y'all taking this first step. And I think for the people who love Cameron Parish, it's hard to come down and recreate right now with what's going on. If you're not recreating, if you're not fishing or crabbing, or if your life depends on catching, the people in Baton Rouge have not been listening. What happened with that dredge spill should have been stopped after it happened, but there were several more dredge spills and mud moving. The same thing. The only reason we know how many violations happened in 2022 was because a Cameron resident was taking pictures and calling the DEQ himself to thank the EPA or the DEQ. Just like the sheriff doesn't have enough people, neither do these agencies who are supposed to be upholding the law. And without enforcement, I don't care what the regulation is. If you can't enforce the regulation, it might as well not exist. And that's where we're at. I mean, they're record regulation violations have happened, and nothing has been enforced. And by trying to get the people's voice to the halls that matter, to FERC, to all these things, has not worked out. But unified, really, the police jury has power. And I'll stop there. I just appreciate y'all having this meeting, and I hope we have more. And I would love to be at the DEQ meeting. The people in the local DEQ office are amazing. For whatever reason, when it makes it to Baton Rouge, they can find all the violations they want. When it makes it to Baton Rouge, they do not enforce the law, and they give them a slap on the wrist. $245,000. That's not settled, by the way. I haven't seen that they settled it because they did advertise for public comment. If I got a speeding ticket the other day in Cameron, if it was $1 to speed, nobody would be following the law. Apparently, they're not following the law now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we have got to be able to hold them accountable. And I wish I had a good relationship to have dinner with them on Wednesday night too with Venture Global, but they do not listen to the people. They do listen, and they do care about Sonny and Mike and Sam. They really care what you three think about things. And if you would speak for the people and advocate for these folks in those meetings, that would go a long way. I'll stop there. Thanks.
Hi, all of you. Thank you again for having this meeting and listening to everyone. Just to report back on a few things, we did publish our first 4-month air monitoring report update. It's 51 pages. I'm having Nisha email it to you guys so you could see it as a resource. The most important bit of information that came out of it was that 101 days out of 111 that we monitored, the level of particulate matter was above the EPA's air quality index, moderate or higher. So basically 10 days of safe limits of particulate matter. That could be from all the traffic, the cement. It doesn't really identify what, but it's the dust in the air. So looking at the things like the traffic problem as a health crisis too feels like important framework. And also regarding the DEQ settlement, we had put in an intent to sue with Tulane Environmental Law Clinic about.
Sorry for interrupting. Question. You said particulate matter. Is there gonna be a step to be analytical from that standpoint?
It was Environmental Health Project was our partner. It is 51 pages of data, straight information.
I grew up in Johnson Bay. If you went down the Holly Beach Road on the south wing, you would see sand and particular
Totally
from the beach.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if it actually breaks it down from an analytical standpoint to see what is the particular matter.
It does not. It also tells us the VOC level, but not which VOCs, which could be benzene or it could be, something a lot less harmful. So we don't have that information. We just have general numbers. I still think it could be used as a resource. During the Delphin pipeline explosion, there was a little bit of an increase here, 19 miles away on the air monitor, but it actually showed that the community was pretty safe from those fumes here in Cameron. We don't know in Johnson Bayou, but it could be used as a tool, not just for showing the level of danger, but also on days when things are safe, like in that incident. So I hope it could be leveraged. It shows live data online, and then we'll be publishing the next report, which will be more extensive at the 1-year mark. So I'll make sure that heads your way as well. We would love to advocate for buffer zones if possible, as like an idea to bring to the table, and use vegetation like trees on a 500 foot radius around the facilities would help catch some of the dust. And then regarding the settlement, the fine that was imposed was done so after we had put in an intent to sue with a Clean Air Act citizen sue. Which happened when the agencies failed to hold them accountable. So this feels like the settlement was a reaction to say, hey, we're actually taking care of these fines, so We don't need to bring it to court. As they mentioned, it could have been just on the violations that they agreed in, $37 million, but settled for $245,000. As James said, about 30 people commented. There's only been 2 cases in Louisiana where there has been a public hearing for comments over these types of settlements. The last one was in 1992. And so we did get the threshold of 25 people requesting a public hearing. That does not mean that DEQ needs to have one. That is just the limit on which they need to meet before they are able to have one. So if you're having this meeting with DEQ, an actionable request would be please have the public hearing, since 25 community members did request it on the settlement. Yeah, thank you so much.
So when you talk about these testing facilities closest to Benton and whatnot, what dictates their locations of putting these, analytical facilities in DEQ? Are you aware of what dictates that?
I only know about our air monitors. I don't know about DEQs. Yeah, but if there's an opportunity or you see a place that you would like them, such as on schools or in the wildlife refuge as a control site, we would love to have a conversation and hear back and see if we could help support that kind of infrastructure to continue to provide data that could be useful to you. Thank you.
James, he was asking what makes DEQ put them like that one at in Benton.
Yeah, I mean, they have, every year they have a site advisory, and we asked them to put them all over the place. Baton Rouge, the end of the day is, for the last 4 years, the DEQ ran at a deficit, so it's not well funded, and that's part of the problem. And you can't just install these. People have to do maintenance to them and analyze the data. And so we always talk about we don't have money. We don't have money to do these things. And it's crazy because if you would find somebody for violating the regulation, you would have enough money to do a lot of things. So there's not enough. And in a place that already has 3 operating terminals and plans for 3, 4 more, we should have that. And if they'd have done it before these were built, we would, like you said about that sand blowing off the thing, we would know what the baseline is. But we don't even know what the baseline was, even with the oil field that operated here for decades. We don't know what the baseline was. So the best thing we can do is advocate for this parish to have the data that is needed to say, Venture Global always has said, oh, it's not that, it's under this, it's under, and we didn't have the data. The cameras that showed the black smoke off, that's what a lot of those violations were, the black smoke rolling off the flare. If it wasn't for that resident who was doing that, nobody would know, because everybody assumes that, they're being taken care of. And the truth is, they're underfunded and understaffed, and they're working like many places, doing too much. Anyway, sorry.
I just want to say 2 quick things. The company coming here, they don't care about the people. They don't care about you. See, I need to understand that. They never talk to the public. As small as this community is, they could have done it. But what I'm letting y'all know is, whenever y'all make a vote or something, y'all got to understand that at the end of the day, they don't care. They're here for one thing. They're here for the buck. They need your property for the buck. They're not here to pay you nothing. They're going to pay you least as possible. And that's what I want to get on your tax. All this money you're going to make. Listen. In the 70s, this port had the #1 fishing port in America. Not talking here. It beat Anchorage out. I don't know if you know that or not. We used to bring in more seafood than any port in America. Right here. You know what we had when it was done? You know what the fishermen in there with? A city dock. Anybody know where the city dock's at? Anybody up here knows where city dock's at in Cameron? Bam. When it was built, and you could just nose to it, You couldn't even drive to it. But what I'm getting to, then the town didn't have no money. And here come the oil business. Like you talk about, it was big. Money, a lot of money, remember? Town making money. When the oil business is going, what did the town have? What did the parish have? Nothing. It was gone. It was taken care of. This is coming. And then we're going to be big in this too, just like the shrimping, the fishing, the oil business. We're going to be probably close to number one in LNG. We're going to make some money. But somehow it seems like we get it taken care of. And when it's going, the money's going. See what I'm trying to say though? You're selling out to something you ain't going to have in the future. It's done happened 2 times before. Why wouldn't it happen again? You know, you're selling out to something. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. We're going to take it and we're going to get what we can. But at the end of the day, they don't care. They come here for one thing. They're miles ahead of us. They're miles ahead of us. You know, it's just, yeah, they're coming for the buck. That's it. $1. They don't care about us. They don't care about your town. They don't care about the people. I'm going to watch it come down. When this is done, what's the plan? Cameron's fucked. Okay? People up north where they're pumping the carbon at, sick or dead. What's the plan? You know what I'm talking about. Think about it. Everybody worry about today and making that buck today. We never had a plan before. I just want to let y'all know. Maybe think of something. Because they don't care about us. Whether you think they do or not, they don't. Coming here for one thing, just like every other business come. Just letting y'all know.
Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna move on to number 5, possible Wakefield Road closure. Do you have anything on this?
Alex is here.
So I got in contact with Mr. Brett Wallace last week. He said there's no plans of closing Wakefield Road. He said they're probably 6 to 8 more months. They will probably have to close it for maybe an hour or so to pull that bridge gap. But other than that, he has no plans to close that road.
Well, we need to think more of the future because, you know, I'm hearing that they don't have no plans on it, but you get on VG's website, they got CP3 plain as day.
Yeah.
With the dredge spot with the ships where Wakefield Road is. So.
Yes, sir. And then maybe in the future, just like I said, he said don't.
Yes, that's probably what they're talking about. So, like Mr. Malcolm said, what's the plan? How they gonna build another road to get to the back, or
we could figure it out.
Port Cameron, when they were discussing Port Cameron for the oil field, they were talking about building a road for like right in here somewhere and going all the way back to where Hess or Transco was, and so I'm sure that's probably what they're planning on doing.
Well, in my opinion, I'm like Mr. Malcolm. I believe they're only here for one thing. They claim to be good neighbors. I should have a better relationship, but unfortunately, I'm a regular person like them, and I don't want it to get back like our fishing pier is. We're supposed to have a taxi. That was before our time. I read everything. We still ain't got nothing. We still ain't even come to the table to talk about it. So,
yes,
if you wouldn't mind, Mr.
Yeah, I'll check into that.
Mr. Sonny's area, but I would be intrigued if at least give us a plan to start presenting to the public.
Yes, sir.
If they plan on going through with it.
Yeah, I'll check into it.
It may be helpful for us to hear from the residents on exactly what their issue is with closing Wakefield Road. Like, what type of inconveniences is it gonna provide? Like, I think if we have a few specifics, that would help us in the future. If anyone here wants to speak on it.
My name's Brian DeBarge. I'm from Cameron, 120 I Street. Mike, I heard you say it would be blowing, is that what you said, blowing sand off the beach? How can it blow sand off the beach with a 30-foot wall?
30-foot wall.
Yeah, you was.
About the Holly Beach Road.
Yeah, but you was making it out like it was sand coming off the beach when she was talking.
I was not making. I was using that as an example. I'm not saying that was sand off the beach. I was asking if they had an analysis tested to see what the.
Well, that was pretty much what you were saying. They'd be saying it's not going to blow over a 30-foot wall.
No, that's not what I was saying at all. I'm just asking.
And that wall that they built comes straight down our neighborhood. When a storm comes, guess what? All that water is going in our neighborhood. There's no, anything east of that wall is going to be gone. I mean, y'all got to help us, man, because these people ain't doing right. And we live and breathe that every day. I know a lot of people think it's a joke, but it ain't no damn joke. It's serious. And y'all the only ones that can help us.
Can we circle back to Wakefield Road?
Yes. Hi, Brandon DeBarge again. So, my concerns about the Wakefield Road. As a community down here, you know, we born and raised on the water. That's what we do. That's why we live here. That's why we went through 3-4 hurricanes, lost everything. We still here because we work and live on the water. And when Davis Road was took, that meant that was a big blow to the community because, I mean, that's where we went. 4th of July, the community met, popped fireworks at that boat launch. That's where we went and launched our boat. That's where you went and took your afternoon ride. That's where if you had a long day, you sat at the rocks, drank the beer, watched the shrimp boats fish, watched the ship come in. Your kids are playing on the rocks, watching the dolphins jump. That's gone. So now we have, if we want to ride in the afternoon, we go to the ferry, and you got that Wakefield Road. Now you got the old river where the shrimp boats shrimp. That's where you go watch your dad, the kids watch their father, you watch the grandpa, you watch shrimp. You get to see a sunset over the channel, over the marsh. You watch. So that means something to this community when you're born and raised on the water. So when it comes to time, because it's coming, they done got the land leased, it's all in the drawing. When they revoke that Wakefield Road, where we will not even be able to go see the water that we was born and raised on because the traffic's going to be backed up from the ferry. Where are you going to go? The traffic's going to be all the way to the Dorlicays. You won't even be able to go ride. You got this little loop you might be able to see maybe if we got still a place to tie. But think about that. As a community that's born and raised in this, and I want y'all to remember this. Y'all know that festival we have? The Wildlife Festival? What was that founded upon, Mr. Daly? Was it founded on the oil or the LNG?
I think it was founded on trapping and fishing and everything like that.
Exactly. This town was built on a fisherman and a trapper. So y'all can't, the parish cannot go around, you know, promoting this festival about how they want to, they help everybody. They want to put a fisherman this year to the oyster industry, the shrimping industry, the cattle, and the trapper. But then you taking everything that the town was built on and selling it out to an LNG plant. And the community that's still here, that's dealing with it, are just getting ran over, and it's just bullshit. Straight up bullshit. So that's what I want y'all to think about when it comes time, because it's coming. When they want to broke that road, y'all just remember the little things that we value as a community. And as me, I ride down that road at least once or twice a day. Either me and my dog go ride down there first thing in the morning to get my mind right. You know, if before we go fishing or anything, or me and my little boy and my wife's going to ride there at sunset and down that road, because there ain't nowhere else to go in this small town. And that's if the traffic ain't backed up and plumb miserable. So that's what that Wakefield Road means. And you don't revoke that one or Gale Street until y'all get somebody working with y'all from Venture that wants to work with y'all and wants to do right by these people. Because if y'all take everything this town was built on, what the hell do y'all have left? A LNG plant? That's it. And that's fine for the people that live in Hackberry, Grand Lake, Klondike, Grand Chenier, Little Chenier, Johnson Bayou. That's fine because everybody's benefiting from it. Besides us, the people that's getting ran over down here, and you watching your town disappear piece by piece, your heritage disappearing, your culture, everything's getting disappeared and erased. And on top of that, you watching the estuary get destroyed. Now, Mr. Sonny, do you make any of your livelihood off of cattle? Yes. You depend on that to feed your family. How would it make you feel if where you at right now with your cattle, you trying to feed your family, and they say there's a stream that runs through there, and another man's just blocking it off and won't give you water to your cattle, and you can't provide, and your cattle's dying, and you barely surviving? That'd be pretty bad, huh? Well, guess what? That same thing is happening right back there in that estuary on that wildlife and fisheries property. That's what it controls everything. The crab and the shrimp and the fishing, the sports fishermen, the snapper fish that I go catch 110 miles offshore. That ecosystem all starts right here inland. The oysters, everything. And when you let somebody, what they doing back there, coming in there, and they got people that come and say, oh, that was land back there at one time. No, there was a difference. There ain't no 6-foot levee built straight shot, filling up with mud and stuff that's coming into the rest of your estuaries, leaking into. That is not the same. They had a little saltgrass ridge back there that when a high tide come, the little crabs would it flowed through there. The shrimp, the lava, the small crabs, the fish, they made it to the other pockets, and then they slowly worked their way out as the months went. But if you letting them kill the estuaries, you letting them destroy the town, erase everything we ever known, what the hell makes you think we want to be living here stuck in this? If they're not gonna work with it, we've got to coexist. When they come in here, a company like this, we have to coexist. And I do not see how this is coexisting at all. And for one more example, you had the firing line down there for 50 years. When they built CP1, they moved it right up here to the ferry to get us out the way. We thought it was going to be doing us a blessing. Now CP2 is getting built down here. They don't want us in the way. When CP3 is right here, where the hell are we going to go? They taking over everywhere we're going to be, either in their way or they in our way. And on top of that, with the construction on the water, the traffic on the water, the barges in that old river, and right here in this loop, when it comes time, when they start anchoring up, that's probably why most of them the shrimpers haven't anchored up. It's because you're scared you're going to get ran over by a barge, and you won't be able to push in that old river like it should be, like it has been with the oil dock. They worked with us, we worked together. But what's going on in that old river? That's a mess. There is no way, and they are not going to move because you know what? They don't have to. They got a little dock lease. They can be out 4 or 5 barges out, and none of y'all know how it works because none of y'all commercial fishermen. So y'all just see it like, oh, they just complaining. But no, the way the tide runs in that old river around that curve, you got to be 2 boats, pretty much the frame almost touching that dock the way to catch. And you got barges 3, 4, 5 out with tugs sitting on the outside of them just holding in gear, pushing them against the dock at all time. That's going to be a mess come May. And this is just little things that we are dealing with that need to be addressed with Venture Global. And they should be here. Like I said, somebody should be here. Sarah Roy, somebody. But they're not, and I hope that later, maybe the next meeting, that we have another one of these, a little more structured, a little quicker. But have them sitting here where they hear it and they know. And they get it right from the horse's mouth. And not some hearsay. And they can look into it and see what we're dealing with. Because this is wrong and we just need some help. And y'all need to unite. Y'all don't just sit over there, Mr. Watson. I know you over there in Klondike, you probably ain't got much going on. But it's time to just get involved and do right. And y'all unite and vote. Mr. Borderline, you too. Because we need it.
That public advisory board or whatever, who sits on that?
It's a lot of community members, but I represent the police jury.
No, I'm saying, is it locals like Brandon DeBoer?
Miss Susan Boudreaux she was on it for representing the business when they had Savoy Lumber. I'm on it. Miss Kim Monte, superintendent. Kevin Savoy and was on there for the LSU Ag office. Now his new replacement is attending, and actually Mr. Kevin still attends just to stay involved. So it's a pretty diverse group. We meet quarterly, but this is really good information that I can bring back to them.
Or can y'all put me to represent the commercial fishermen?
I can certainly ask you, sir.
We need somebody. Thank y'all. Yeah.
Quality of life sounds like your issue with Wakefield Road. Does that sound like a pretty accurate thing?
Yeah.
Quality of
Taking
life.
everything you
Okay, I got it.
live for. I mean, things that you enjoy.
That sounds good, then.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm David Sorrells, 2717 Rue Calais. I'm with Pig and Rooster Oyster Farms. So I do also have an issue with the Wakefield Road. Obviously, I lease, my whole operation is on T-Boy's property. That's my only way in and out. And I dealt with it last year already when I went to go to work and Venture Global had the road shut down.
Is this Wakefield Road?
Wakefield Road, yeah. No heads up. No anything. Just, this is our town now. This is what we're going to do. And talked to the guys out there. Actually, some guys from Marshland were out there. I talked to them, so what's going on? We're doing something with the bridge. We'll be fine tomorrow. Come down tomorrow. Still can't get to my work. Problems with the crane. So I'm missing 2 days of work out of my week with no heads up, no anything. So I don't have any faith, number one, in Venture Global for several reasons, but also with the road. I mean, and Brandon, I hear you. You guys grew up down here. This is y'all's town. Unfortunately, my thought is it's already gone. I mean, there's no saving it. So my only thing I'd like to say is I agree. You guys have, thank you for this meeting. It means a lot to these guys. It means a lot to me, who has a business down here. But I think it's obvious. I think you guys have heard these. It was surprising to me as well. Some of you guys who said that you couldn't believe that some of the things hadn't been heard before. I think we all know they've been said before. Where they've been heard or not's a different story. My suggestion is you guys come together. We're asking for your help. I think you guys all sit up there and you also know things that you can't say. They're very pertinent to what's going on down here. And we respect that. You keep that position. Keep what you know to yourself if you think that's right. But somebody else mentioned about the road, some road that Venture Global needs. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I would love to see you guys come together and pass a motion and vote on it to not pass one more permit for anything for Venture Global. Until they come down here and talk with all these guys and myself included. We're not saying no to them. We're just trying to get their attention. We can't do that. You guys can. Make it a motion, make it a vote, and until they're willing to come and sit down with everybody down here and hear what we have to say. Because ultimately, they're the reason. And I get it. They're here to do what they're doing, and they're successful, right? Unstoppable energy. They're proving that for sure. And I also want to just remind you guys, Mike Sable, the CEO, when he was asked, what do? What was his answer? They operate and run machines that make money. So it's funny that there's a lot of things down here we don't have the money for. You got these big machines over here making it. So that was my issue of back to Wakefield Road.
Business interruptions sound accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, one more.
Robert Doxey, again, Cameron, Louisiana, 104 Elm Street. Now, Commonwealth on the west side, right? Permit's already done. I mean, 10 permit, ready to go, working. contract or whatever. Is that gonna be on the north side of the road too? Because I see white pipes cutting straight across. I wanna say maybe 300 foot wide. They got big old white pipes coming from Commonwealth side, going across the north side of the highway, straight through the marsh.
What you know, James?
It's a pipeline.
That's where it's going?
The pipeline's coming, yeah.
You see, that's another one. It's cutting me off with my commercial fishermen. Because on the Hollow Beach side, when they pump that sand to the north side, supposed to have been 300 something acres, they went more than that. My shrimping went down. I can show you my income tax, down. And then they got this Commonwealth coming in. What they gonna do going straight across again on the west side, I don't know. Now, as soon as you cross the ferry, they got that shell road. That leads me back there to my camp where I go fishing at. What is going to be built right there? Because I heard they're going to dig out 366 acres to pull a ship there, or what they call a ship. Well, I forget. It ain't no ship. It's whatever it is they call it. To pull in there where they can pump from that pipeline that's been there since probably the 80s. I've been back there all my life. Gonna dig that out so that ship can go in there and pump and then turn around to the old river and then go back out. Like I said, they got me over there on the west side 5-6 years ago, wherever it been. Commonwealth coming. And they're coming right there where I'm passing on that shell road. I don't own the land, but I'm paying lease to go back there. I've been paying back there. My cousin been back there since 1968. I've been back there since 72. So I'm about that kid. So they finna ruin me out. But if it's already done, it's already done. But from me as a person, shrimper, commercial fisherman, community, that is wrong the way they're taking over everything. The whole riverfront, they're taking it over. Marshall LeBoy come out there. Firsthand, it's something that you cherish. To watch a little kid work that cat head. He wasn't, I showed his kid. He calls his daddy up. His grandma and grandpa. Was here, showed them catching redfish and all that. That's not fixing to be gone. I got kids. I got 2 grandkids do it. They've been doing it since they little. It's fitting to be gone. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes Wakefield Road.
Wakefield, I just got one thing to say. I will say this, and Mr. Sonny saw this firsthand, and Michael. Particularly with Gale Street, we do have some power, and it's not good for business, but sometimes to get business done, sometimes you got to butt heads with people and do something that you wouldn't like. But I do think with what they're asking for is not too much. There's 2 things that Venture could do. They can either come together and be a good neighbor and buy the people who want to get bought out, or at least factor in some of their concerns, because I think they got plenty enough money to do it, in my opinion. Or I would say, and ask for the support to start withholding some of these things, because it's near and dear to them. So either we can work together or we can work against each other. But I think that's something that we need to be open-minded to save some of the little things, in my opinion, on this.
Hey, Mark, you're talking about business. Okay, you come in here, you're gonna represent the parish, still people. That's a balance act. And I know you try to do it well. Appreciate it. But I'm just trying to say there's people too. It's not just always parish. Got people. Got to think about that. There's two in that. Can't just throw it because all the parish gonna benefit.
It shouldn't be too hard to coexist with not a handful of people.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. There's not many of us, so there's no reason this should even be going on. I can understand this be Lake Charles. I mean, you're gonna talk a handful of people.
47 houses and 32 campers.
I mean, they could have done something. At least, like I said, a meeting, let us know what's going on, talk to us. Not because they don't have to.
I agree. That would be.
And I know it's not your
would
fault.
good.
They don't have to. I know that's way above y'all. But
When I first got on, I tried to bridge the gap in between the people, the fishermen, and BG, but it's very clear to me they don't want to bridge. So
Yeah, they don't.
I'm gonna stand with what, like Mr. DeBarge said, I'm gonna stand with the people where when I put my head on my pillow at night, I don't care if I'm elected again. I know it doesn't right there.
Appreciate it.
That's what we need more of, right there. Courage and dignity.
Okay, moving to the next item, marsh estuaries. Katie, what time do I make them?
1:30.
Hey,
Brandon already
just for the,
spoke.
just for the crowd, I do have a meeting that I need to attend at 1:30, but worst comes to worst, our vice president takes seat.
Yeah, Brandon DeBard. Okay, on that estuary, what's going to happen? Okay, so Mark, you've been out back there pretty a lot here lately. So where are they pumping into, as I've come to understand? Is it basically a pond where the pump comes in and then it just stages down where it slowly just runs over, but it catches the settlement as it goes over these breaks?
It's supposed to be designed to where they build a levee, pump it up so often, so high, and the sediment is supposed to get out of it until it then goes through little other impoundments, or until what I could understand of my interpretation of the permit, it then goes to an overflow site or a dewatering box. Is normally how they're referred to.
Okay, so here in about, we should be getting our big May rain anytime coming up, a couple weeks. So if we get 10 or 12 inches dropped on us in a day, is there a chance that that's going to overflow that impoundment and that settlement's going to be able to get released into our marsh estuaries?
I wouldn't per se that it would overflow it, because that was one of what I alluded to as an excuse that they claim is what happened with the original one. Oh, we got 6 or 12 inches of rain is why the settlement got out. I don't think that's factual. I don't think that would happen. Now, the problem is all the settlement that's out that the president of the Gravity Drainage Board in Cameron does not want to allude to, because he said that our water don't drain that way, which he's wrong, is the settlement which me and Sonny rode on the airboat through the canal. They got yard grass growing in the middle of it. We got a couple inches of rain the night before, and it had water on top of the cracked ground where it was a desert where it always drained water historically. So if we get a bunch of rain, I 100% believe on the south side of this project, because, and what was disclosed to me on our last meeting, the CP2 jobs and the Commonwealth one was not factored into the flood study hydraulic plan. So there's a lot of silt that's out that's stopping drainage. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, it is there.
Yeah. And that's my concern. If when we get this big rain, I would think maybe it might overflow. That's a scenario. But also, we're going to have a bunch of dead water stuck on the south side of this levee, correct? Would you think? For the drainage issues,
It's possible from what we saw.
so we're going to have dead water in our estuary that has nowhere to go, flooded lands, and then a chance of the settlement overflowing with this big rain, because we're going to get it every year it comes. And so what, I mean, that's what we're up against. And like I try to tell Venture Global and Sarah Roy and them when they come talk to me, they tried to make me believe that would one day be salt water again where it's pumping. That will never be salt water again where they are pumping that dirt. That will be either a freshwater impoundment if they block put boards where the cupboards, or it will be a dry ridge with trees growing on it in 2 or 3 years. That will never be salt water again that they trying to make us believe. And like she said, well, we got to cut it down to 3-foot grade. Even at 3 foot, there's salt water would never be on that again. And that's something. And like I said, we still dredging right here for CP2. We got Commonwealth, we got CP3, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be another one come north of the ferry, or where he's talking about turning around the ships. So we got, and she said it. She said, well, we already got that located and drawn out and mapped out back there where we want. And she said, well, that's supposed to be considered a freshwater marsh. I said, says who? Sweet Lake Land and Oil, Miami Corporation? Because that is not a freshwater marsh. And that's what I told her. Because she said, well, we about to leave the weirs and we're going to put in, I want to say 200, I want to say the number. It was a bunch of culverts, flap gates. I said, well, why not take the weirs out and make rocks where it makes a Z? And that would stop the erosion. And all these biologists, I know they got these degrees and all this, but when you're out in the real world and you see it, that saltwater is only going to go so far in that freshwater marsh. I don't care. It's only going to go so far, and there's going to be a boundary. And back in the 70s and 80s, it thrived back there. Everything, the duck hunting, the fisheries, everything thrived. They put in these weirs, and they doing all this stuff. It's killing it. Killing it, man. So it ain't good when you see where when you got a family to provide for and you see your future getting destroyed for coastal erosion projects and for a big corporation to come in here and make all this money. It ain't worth a shit for the fishermen. So that's all I have to say about the estuary. Thank y'all.
How y'all doing? It's Anthony Terrio. I live at 123 Henry Street, Cameron. Sam, I was wondering about guide boats. I know, you're in contact with a lot of them. I don't ever see many of them, up here. I mean, I think a lot of the reason is, bad advertisement isn't good. But, what are you hearing? I seen deal where Jeremy tried to set up something, but more privately because he don't want it to be out in the open because it hurts business.
Yeah, the guide boats, the ones that I stay in contact with regularly, can't fish the channel. Too many ships, too much movement. They can catch fish in the channel one day if there's a little bit of slow traffic, but the ship traffic definitely hinders.
Well, I'm more talking about the settlement and what they're seeing on the reefs. I've talked to Justin and Jeremy, Kevin, and them fish for hackberry rod and gun. There's still a lot of settlement, on the reefs. A lot of them you have to stay away from by no name and all them. They still haven't cleared up enough to fish. And I told them you're exactly right. It's been 9 months. And if I bring you out there to them cages, there's just as much settlement on them now as there was 9 months ago. That's what we're not understanding. If it's not coming out anymore, then where is the settlement coming from? It's still coming out. It's coming out of Lambert Bayou and Grand Bayou. There still has to be a lot back there, and like I say, rain or whatever is going to make it come out. And so we're going to steady deal with this. But the next thing we're going to deal with this is come next oyster season, that quota is not, we fished 19 days this year. That's how many days they bought oysters. I mean, we've never had 19 days in 30 years. I mean, it's never happened before. And for LD and R to come down, Kyle come down, and it take them 8 months to come. I mean, I just feel that's uncalled for. I think we need to have something set up with, LD&R call to come down, explain to us what's going to happen. How are they going to clean this up? Or are we just going to suffer with it until it all comes out? I think we need CPRA to come down, we would like y'all to set up something, make them come down here and explain to us, whether we're going to ride this out until it's over with, and tell the people, that if we're going to ride it out, how long it's going to take. Make call, tell us how long it's going to take. Because if there's still that much settlement back there, we're looking at years. We're not looking at, months. I see Hackberry Rod and Gun on Facebook promoting the water's clear and there's plenty of bait, and I talk to the bait guy every day. There ain't plenty of bait and the water is not clear. And I understand you have to promote business, but they bring someone out to fish, they get paid before they leave the dock, or, as soon as they get back, whatever. It's not about what you catch. Come out there in the real world and get paid by what you catch. It doesn't, and that's what we keep getting at, It's not going to be.
I will say upstream, just like Cameron Parish, you got to realize there's a lot of action going on. Woodside, they're doing dredging. They're dredging that ship channel more than they've ever dredged that ship channel. I know because they were right north of Hackberry.
Well, mud from the ship channel does not go in the lake. I'm sorry, but it does not go uphill.
No, I'm just saying that things are coming down to us.
Everything is sucked into the ship channel, and that's what I said. We should not see settlement if the settlement's out in the lake today. In a few weeks, it will be gone because everything is sucked into the ship channel. And that's what I say. Settlement is still coming out daily because for us to still see it, it's daily because everything is sucked into the ship channel. Everything. Go walk. You can't walk that in a ship path without it. All the washout area, all that's like walking on blacktop.
I think the biggest problem, Anthony, and look, this is just, I have theories, and that's all they are. But I have seen it over time on a big lake level. I didn't spend a ton of time down here. I spent a lot of time in that channel though. Washout, Supercut, 9 Mile, whole 9 yards. And I think it's the sediment issue is more of a combination. And it all results to one problem, is the daggum channel. There's so much ship traffic now and so much flow through that channel that even in Big Lake, where I grew up walking the banks over there in Big Lake and never once had a ship wave hit me at my titties. And it can happen now. I see ship waves, they eat out behind the docks. Hell, the lake rims all the way to the protection levee in most places.
Well, like I said, I know there's been a lot of, now that they had to deal with the first with Tom Fallow and them, and they're going to do the sampling of outside of each weir and everything. The truth's going to come out of what's coming out, which we already know. We know the settlement's coming out of Lambert. We know it's coming out of Grand. You can't close one and expect it not to make it to the other ones. For them to go out there and wildlife to test, and take 5 oysters off of 7 reefs, that's a joke.
I don't disagree with you, but that's the way they're machines, and that's the way that they've done their testing forever, and that's how they keep their samples accurate. So that's on their end. But I do have theories on it, and it all results around that channel. Rocks work. We know that rocks work. They're great. But I think if you don't use this beneficial use and put it behind contaminants like rock, it does no good. Heck, the rims of that ship channel was built off of dredge spoil. And if it's not contained and it sloughs just like 9 Mile, Long Point, that if they hadn't put rocks there, it would be completely gone. And it is gone. But that washout and 9 Mile is so open now. Heck, it's going to be another year or two, and West Cove will be
I'm sure.
It'll be gone on the west side.
Well, Sonny, when they went out with y'all, when Kyle was that, is that his first time going out?
Yes.
So, do you feel that, we could get Kyle to come down, LDNR come down, and explain to us what's going to happen?
He's supposed to be getting back with us, but I haven't heard anything from him.
Heard anything, Katie?
He did respond to my email with an update. I can forward it to you. Like this morning, he responded to my email, 10:30.
Is it an update? We can update everybody, or?
Haven't read it, Mark, and I wasn't in that meeting. You want to read it?
Sure.
Do you want to read it, or you want me to read it out loud?
You can read it if you don't mind, or if you want, I'll read it.
I just got it through my email, sorry. So Cameron Port, permit, which is, P202303991. The North Rim Channel dredging is nearly completed. Spot dredging is needed at a few locations to meet Creasville cross section. To date, 33,175 cubic yards were dredged from North Rim Channel. There's about approximately 120,000 cubic yards remaining to be dredged from the Loop Pass. Venture Global's permit 202-11131. As of April 18th, 4.2 million cubic yards are dredged to date. Agencies discussed continued monitoring for turbid water in response to slurry pipeline leaks, and sampling continues at all of their sampling locations.
Yeah, that's definitely not the email that I think me and Mr. Sonny's talking to. That's just an update on the dredging. We're talking specifically on what we showed Mr. Kyle and Ms. Jessica with CPRA, that they were supposed to get back with us, and we showed them a lot. How do we get this? I mean, because this is the problem. Initially, I thought it was going to be a busted levee. Hey, accidents happens, we're going to get through it. But going out there and not seeing the levee and studying it, and it's supposed to have a levee all the way around it, that's an issue. Then when you talk to all these people that's involved with it, oh, we was told not to build a levee, or save money, or we was telling them. There's an issue, and it's time for us to hold them accountable per their permit. Because look, the permit's good. Somebody didn't follow it, in my opinion. So that's the answer that I think me and Mr. Sonny's looking for.
Yeah, we're expecting Kyle to step up and be the enforcement agent. It's not us. We have no power or authority to do that, but he does.
Well, the only update I have is regarding permitted activities and any meetings that you both had with him. Maybe he'll reach out directly to you guys when he has an update.
Well, you're specifically on the email thread because you're our point of contact, Katie. So let me finish. I asked you last week to get with him for an update. That is not an update on what you're the person to contact for. So if we could clarify that and narrow it down on that email thread and get those answers, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure a lot of these people would too, because it's time to I mean, it's the elephant in the room, and there's a problem. I don't know when we're going to dredge it, because I hear bitching. Oh, don't worry, we're going to clean it up. It's not ours, but we're going to clean it up. Well, I tell you what I don't see them doing, and I tell you what, when we left that, Mr. Kyle and Jessica both said, we was not aware of that. VG got a lot of stuff to explain to us. And then I think Mr. Kyle even used the words of, oh, because me and Mr. Sonny asked him, look, all we want is it cleaned up and fixed. Mr. Sonny, what did Mr. Kyle tell you when you asked him what's our solution? What's our go-to? You remember?
Yeah, I hate to say it.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. So let's, you know.
Well,
he said the only way you're gonna fix this is lawsuit. So that's what the man said. That's what he told some landowners I see standing in this room. So I know the jury has not been a big part of that. I've been mostly involved. I kind of give updates to a few people. I know we've been giving VG a long leash to see what happens. I don't know what we can or can't do, but I do know, and it was said, we don't get in the civil thing around here. But I do know this much. It's hindering our drainage. It's hindering the way of life in the fisheries. It's hindering landowners filling their stuff up. And I do know what the previous jury did. They sued the oil field for not following their permits. This is no different. So it's time that the jury as a whole gets on board and gets answers and hopefully gets it fixed. That's my opinion. So, I mean, I hear it. A lot of this stuff we're hearing today is because of these reasons. It's simple, guys. Let's put the big boy boots on and get it fixed.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if we could just get something with LDNR, with CPRA and Venture, and see what's going to happen. I mean, my frustration is I have oysters that are 19 months old that I just been waiting to show them. They won't even come out. I mean, Sarah Roy came out one time 9 months ago. But I have oysters that are 19 months old that I got to dump back in the water. David, same way. I mean, we'd at least like to show them the product before we dump it and the reason for it. I mean, I've come and showed y'all, but, they haven't actually came and seen everything that we have that is no good that we have to, just dump back in the water. All right, thank you.
Mr. Cole, just to show you, on 8/14 and 25, I contacted Mr. Kyle Volkman. Just tell you that when we contact people, they blow us off just like you. 8/14 and 25, that's after I went and personally assessed it with a lot of the fishermen, a lot of the people. I asked Mr. Kyle himself to come look. He made the statement when we went just the other day on the airboat tour, well, I didn't realize that was it. Well, I showed him locations, I showed him videos, talked with him with the permit. He agreed to me until I called the port board and told the port board, hey, there was supposed to be a levee there. Well, the next day, at 8:30, 9 o'clock, he called me and said he was mistaken on everything when he knows that permit forward and backwards.
And they're gonna do the same thing. CP2, when they start commissioning, they're gonna go in CP3. It's gonna be the same thing over and over and over.
To me, this is the purpose and this is the goal of now. It's not to beat somebody to death because they made a poor decision. It's to stop it from further happening in the future. Because if it would have stayed to the permit and stayed on site, I don't think we would have too much. Yeah, there might be people upset about filling in that much of the estuary, but we would not be dealing with what we're dealing with today. I think that's the goal, is if it's got to stay somewhere, it needs to stay there. And if it's not, I use this word a lot. And I wholeheartedly think this is the best thing to do, is accountability. When you don't hold people accountable, they get away with everything, they're going to keep doing it. I mean, it just goes across the board.
Right.
I just got something quick to say.
Just for a second, Mr. Sonny's gonna take over the meeting, besides the rest of it, I gotta step off, but I do appreciate everybody's attendance, and, my cell phone's out there if y'all need some.
I'll send you the video that way. I really want to talk before you left.
Just talking about the sanctuary. I mean, we know it's pretty damaged. You know, it's over the years of people getting what they want, you know, funding the money and weirs and whatnot. You know, it all started with Dina Coastal, which didn't really hurt, you know. But what we're saying is the end of the line now. Just like you said, it's done, it's over, we know. But what I wanted to say was, ain't the town made up of the people?
Yes.
Okay. What's going to be the name of the town in 10, 15 years?
Well, in my opinion,
Think
if
about it.
all the people want to buy out from VG and then all the other big landowners already leased it, it's going to be VG.
Amen. So what happens with us? You know, I wouldn't want to be no other place, but I'm gonna have to be. We're just gonna get pushed out. Still gonna buy again. That's just where I'm at. I mean, the town's made up of the people. So you're right. It will not be Cameron. When all this is done and over, that was only projected for 30 years. Okay? You know how many years we in it? Why do you think they're in a hurry? And the mass, the way they're starting to move it now, probably ain't gonna last that long. And that's what I was saying the other day. You got the fishing industry, you got one of the number one all businesses, you're probably gonna have one of the number one natural gas industries. And every one we was broke at the end. We're gonna be really screwed this time because you ain't even gonna have a town left. You gave the whole town away. Well, I ain't gonna say you, I can't. I'm not gonna finish at y'all, but that's all we're trying to say. You know, the town's made up of the people, and they're walking all over us.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, yeah, BG brings perks to the police jury and stuff because we're going to get money. And the goal is, hey, if the police jury got money, then we can funnel it down and get back to the community. But that's where I'm not a politician because you're not going to be a good neighbor and you're not going to take responsibility for what's going on already. I hate to see when they got 5 plants here.
Oh, they're gonna have it.
And that's
I
where
think they
I
got
do business different.
Well, don't they have 1, 2? They're talking about building 3, which I know that's probably still on the fence. I heard, but don't they have? Heard? I don't know if it's true. Didn't the one that's supposed to go to North Monkey Island? Ain't it funded? I heard it was finally funded.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, then you got Commonwealth. Then you got G2, and the G2 just leased the other 500 acres south of the big ferry, huh? And then you got dredge for all this.
Well, it's simple. If y'all was a big, if y'all owned the LNG tanker ship, I believe BG be working with y'all.
Oh, I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. And I know
Again, that's where I do business different because I'm not here as a politician.
That's
I'm
right.
here because I was y'all at one point in time.
Yeah.
And I looked for the jury.
We appreciate that.
The jury can only do so much. We only hold so
Yeah.
much power. But the mindset of, oh, we're going to make a bunch of money off of them, it's going to help the parish in the future. So, yeah, let's just listen.
But that's what a lot of them's talking about, you know, generations.
I just would
It's
like
done.
to see how
We know it's done.
I would just like to see how this fall thing ends up, and hopefully it ends up in a positive place. And then I'd probably have a lot of faith moving forward in the future. But until we can cross that bridge,
Yeah.
I say we shut the gate.
Right now, the ball's in Kyle's court. Don't expect for a whole lot to happen in the near future, but you have to give him a chance to do something. And then once he comes back to us, we'll see where we go from there. But
Yes.
until that point in time, we're kind of at an impasse.
Yeah, I understand that. But I just kind of wanted to bring that to light that, you know, people know they lost it. That's the main concern.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Is there any more on the estuary?
It's not an estuary, but I got some stuff I like to talk about. I was trying to get it done earlier while there's still big.
Okay, well, we're gonna move to the next one. We'll catch it. If it's not this next one, we'll catch it right out. The last one we have on the list was anchoring in the loop for shrimp season. Anybody wants to talk on that? I do have that on my talking notes. I've been taking notes.
Yeah, she kind of got it down wrong, but I was just saying with the traffic, with anchoring, and I spoke on it earlier, pretty much about the barges in the Old River and all this traffic that we're having in the loop. But I done said what I need to say about it.
Okay. All right, well, if there's no other, you can come on up with yours.
All right. Ryan Jordan, live at 138 Francis Circle here in Cameron. So last police jury meeting, I come up here with some pretty big concerns of sewer on my property, which is still on my property today. And, you know, some fence.
I was told to take care of it.
No, yeah, that's what everybody was told because this whole parish ran me around in circles all last week. Mainly because the fence issue I have with the west side. You know, the people that own that park, I'm not going to say any specific names, but they work in the permit department. They work in the tax assessor's office and this, that, and other. So they're big names. And this parish has always been who you are and what your last name is and what gets done. So when I went to the permit department last week to find out what the right steps to take to get that sewer cleaned up because the neighbor that had the sewer on property wasn't being very friendly, they ran me to another department. Then they ran me to another department. Then they ran me to another department. I come back in circles. You know, y'all, I did talk to Mr. Michael. I talked to you, Mr. Sonny. So then finally, you know, I know the guy that owns the property there. He works for Venture Global. He's a supervisor out there on nights. Works directly for Venture. So I reached out to Sarah Roy and I said, hey, you know what? Y'all preach and preach and preach. Y'all are great neighbors, but one of your employees is pouring raw sewage on my property. Has been for over a month and nothing's happened. I talk to him every day. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to have a pump truck. Tomorrow I'm going to have a pump truck. Tomorrow I'm going to have a pump truck. Well, guess what? When I reached out to Sarah Roy and told her that, within 45 minutes, I had a pump truck in my yard pumping that sewer out. Right? Well, then after that, I told the guy. He said, hey, did they clean it up? I said, well, they pumped the liquid off, you know. But there's 4 inches of solids in the bottom of that ditch that I had dug to put some utilities in my yard. I would like to see you get somebody with an excavator over there to clean that and haul that off because we get some rain. It's going to be just as bad. Still got all that sewer there. And then there's all this tall grass where I couldn't mow for a month. I'm not talking about this tall. I'm talking about this tall. I got pictures of it. I'd like to get somebody to come in there and weed eat that and squeegee that to the pump truck and get it all cleaned up. That way my yard's back the way it was. I have not heard from him at all since that day. That pump truck left. Well, dealing with all this with the sewer kind of got me looking. You know, I don't like to say I wanted a fence too. But not having a fence got me looking at the other side with their sewer because it's right there in my face. You know, I don't have to even go on their property to see how many violations they're in with their sewer. So I started looking at everything. So I started pulling some permits. You know, who built it? Because I build a lot of parks. I do a lot of commercial work. Do a lot of work for a lot of people in this parish. And I have a really hard time pulling permits. I don't know why. You know, because whenever you build one of these parks, something you got to go request. You know, RFD first step. And they always hold our RFDs for quite a while. And they shoot them back for just minor stuff. Like an area not being shaded in where I'm gonna put 2 tons of rock. Oh no, you got to shade this in, but they don't send till Friday at 4 o'clock when they're leaving. So then you're pushed back another 4 or 5 days on permitting. So when I started pulling these public records to see who did the sewer on the west side of me, because it's wrong, I know it's wrong. I got all the information. So they changed the ordinance back in October to where you have to get a licensed plumber to sign off on the plumbing for any of these parks, right? Well, called the plumbing company. I said, hey, are y'all aware that this work y'all signed off on isn't up to code? Well, we never signed off on that. So I pulled some more public records, and I go in the office right here last week. Once I had all the proof, because you always say when you make sure what you're talking on, you have proof to talk on. So I put together all the proof. I pulled all their permits, pulled a bunch of other permits, I went and printed out all the emails on permits I was shot down on. So I go over there and I talk to Miss Robin, and I say, hey, this park isn't up to code. She said, well, I couldn't tell you what code was, on the sewer. I said, okay, well, it says Lake Area Plumbing signed off on it. Well, then the owner of the park comes over there and hands me a paper saying that they had it inspected and it was up to code. Which is funny because the day they come out and inspected it was the day they come out and looked at that sewer on my property. The day I talked to you, Mr. Sonny. I got cameras all around my property because I got all these people built on top of me. And Kaylee was there that day. That inspector didn't even look at that property to the west of me, at their plumbing at all. There's no vents. There's no sewer cleanouts. It's not done right. Nothing. So when I go him Robin up on it, she says, well, I don't know code. Call Mr. Cooney. So I call Mr. Cooney, and he tells me, we had a long conversation. And he said, well, I come out there and inspected it. I said, when? He said, when it was built. I said, so you're saying that you signed off on it not being right? That's what you're telling me. Well, no, it was right. I said, well, I have pictures of it when it was built. I have pictures of it now. It's not changed. It wasn't right. Lake Area Plumbing signed off on it. You signed off on it. They got their permit real easy. No hassle. Well, he says, well, there's a lot of stuff in Cameron Parish that's not up to code. So there's a double standard for certain people. And you can see why I think it's an issue, because I'm having sewer problems on the east side of me already that yesterday still not cleaned. I went over there with an excavator yesterday afternoon, late yesterday afternoon when I got through coaching the T-ball team, and I rolled all that grass over and leveled it. That way the sun could dry it out. I stripped it, pushed everything up in a pile. I'm going to haul it off myself. But the permitting is an issue in this parish. It's very, 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 very corrupt. I got a lot of proof of it. A few weeks ago, I was reached out to by a gentleman that wanted me to pull permits to open up Dockside Bar. He said he gave me a phone call. He said, hey, look, didn't want to make it into a bar, but getting a lot of feedback from the community and a lot of the people out here working. And Dockside was a big deal in this town, which it was. Everybody knows that. I want to open it back up. I don't want to cook there. I'll just run the food through Tressie. She's local. Get her the business on the food. To open up some, hot and ready food in the bar. That way she gets some revenue and I get some revenue off of it too. Kind of helping the community out. So I called to pull permits. Nope, can't do it. Got to tear it down, rebuild it. But there's so many other instances where there was variance given and this, that, and the other for other businesses to open up that weren't up to code. Why can't we get permits for that? Like Old Cameron Construction, well over 50% damage, well over. They got the lights turned back. They rebuilt the building, got the lights turned on. It's not up to code. How can you get power if there's no 911 number in the front of it? So who inspected that? Tried to pull the permits. There's no permit for that is what I was told. The permit department and a couple other departments are so corrupt and good at persuading stuff to go in their favor or the people that they're backing's favor.
So who did, if you don't mind me cutting in, so nobody addressed your sewer issue? What goose chase you went on? And there's somebody that's over the sewer.
All right, so I went to LDH, talked to them. They said we're going to come out, but they told me I needed to reach out to Cameron Waterworks. So I went to Cameron Waterworks, sat down with them for about 45 minutes, and everybody was in the office. Mr. Kirk Bischoff, everybody was in there. Talked to them. They said, well, we're not liable for their line. We're only liable for the main line, the 12-inch sewer line. So I think it's 12-inch in that neighborhood. Okay, but they said, you need to go to the permit office. So then I go to the permit office, which I'm already having conflicts there. So they're not going to help me. Nope, you don't need to go to us. You need to go to LDH. I said, well, the LDH just told me, well, right after I left the permit office, they said I need to go back to LDH. LDH called me and said, hey, we're not over like residential sewer like that. You know, if it'd be like a large mechanical system or something like that, then we're over that. We can't come out there and find these people, but you need to go to the permit office. So I turned right back around, never left this parking lot, turned right back around, went into the permit office. Robin's not here. We can't do anything until Monday. Okay. So then I go home and I'm kind of aggravated because pretty much my whole backyard, side of my house, everything's flooded in with sewer. I done dug ditches to divert it into the front ditch of my house. But yeah, I pretty much went to every single office and just got told, no, not us, go to this one. No, not us, go to this one. No, not us, go to this one.
That inspector, we have a contract.
Mr. Cooney?
And wrote him up. I don't understand, he wrote him up.
Nah, they sent him a letter.
Now, has that problem, is it still leaking? Or has that leak actually been stopped?
I thought the leak was completely stopped, but yesterday when I started stripping that grass off, I had a lot of raw sewage just pop up out of nowhere. I mean, like that I wasn't seeing, you know, because I'm not going to go walk in this grass that's been grown this tall.
So basically, did any agency help you on the sewer part of it?
No, the only one that helped me was me making phone calls to his place of work.
To BG. So BG is now the new inspector and sewage person.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. It's kind of odd, isn't it?
Well, it's not odd to me.
Well, yeah.
Can you tell us specifically who's these parks for? Because I'd like to know.
Well, the part to the east of me is Jack Reeves. He works for VG. The part to the west of me is a split ownership. It's Scott Laverne owns half of Bolo RV, and Miss Veronica Trosclair owns the other half of Bolo RV. I think they work under the same occupational license as what I got on record right here.
That don't sound right to me. Because sewage is a big deal.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then Mr. Cooney told me about when I asked him about the 3-inch, he said, well, in some instances you can have 3-inch, which I'm no plumber, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've done a lot of plumbing work, but I'm no plumber. So I spent one whole afternoon, probably about 3 hours, reading the whole plumber's code on these recreational RV parks. Not a plumber, but I'm pretty good at reading. I've got very good grades in English and comprehending. And he called me back and said, well, they're not over capacity with that 3-inch, but they're close. I said, well, how close? I mean, how close are they? He said, they're right at the line. They couldn't add another one. He said, because most of these RVs work off of a single bathroom, single gray tank. I said, well, I'm looking at 4 campers that have 2 gray tanks, 2 black tanks. They're dual bathroom, big fifth wheels. That's what I got, you know? Well, you can't really go by that. And I said, so you're saying we're bending the rules? Because, I mean, if they're over capacity, and they don't have the vents, and they don't have the clean outs, and they don't have and the whole reason the sewer backed up on my land in the first place is because one of the ones that was inspected and built by the same builder wasn't built right. All them sewer hookups are supposed to be sealed. That way the gas can't escape with vents for the gas to escape, not each individual one. There's a lot of code violations, and the only answer I got was, hey, there's a lot of stuff in Cameron Parish that ain't up to code.
Might be a discussion we have to have with the sewer board. We've got a meeting tomorrow night.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask with their part, because I am going to be attending a sewer meeting tomorrow. This wasn't on the agenda. It was, I'm hearing whispers on other stuff, but I'm definitely going to bring that up with them, because my thing's going to be, because at the end of the day, I think it's going to land with LDH, because it has to do with sewer. Doesn't matter if it's city sewer or...
LDH said they couldn't touch it.
Huh?
LDH said they couldn't touch it.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure if you look at your permit that you got, because I'm pretty sure you got an RV park. First thing you got to do is go through LDH, almost on every permit. So
I don't directly own RV park. I don't. I built a bunch, but
I'm gonna look into this more. If you'd like, I'd like to get your information, because sometimes it's hard for me to get information too. So
I got all this. You're more than welcome to it. I got every permit that was pulled on every one of them parks. What was signed off on by who? I got their rough. I couldn't get it. They didn't give me a copy of it.
We don't ask the permit department for that. They found to have that on record.
But I have everything that's. I come with. Yeah, I can bring it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
You want to write it on the only one?
I just want to say something real quick. When Tom Bear was in here at the last meeting, they was talking about putting fences to residents, and he used the word grandfather. Ain't that just a word that we use to get what we want? Really?
I never been grandfather.
Okay. They tore the grandfathered from us overnight. But what I'm getting to, the other day Ryan was asking for a fence. And then he's talking about these camper parks. Tom said you can't go back on the ones that's already there. But if these camper parks are in violation, could we go back on that and make them put a fence? If they're in violation, I'm just saying.
We need to look into that a little closer. Because I think if there is a safety issue or something like that, I think we probably have some footing to do that. I don't know.
I mean, it should have been done when they was built. I understand I was waiting for y'all. I understand all that crap. But what I'm trying to say is, Tom, he's going to use what he got to use. You know how he is. But he's going to use the grandfather because it benefits him. Okay? But what I'm saying, if they out of violation, if something happens with this and they'll own the resident, so they should have to meet the new code with defense.
There's two things that's going to happen because I'm very familiar with all this, unfortunately. But first and foremost, they got to send them a letter that they're out of compliance, and then they got to get into compliance.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like to get into compliance, they're going to have to redo everything. I don't know the exact. And if they don't come into compliance, then the next step is pulling that permit from them. And then once you pull it, you have to
You have to redo it.
There is where the grandfather in is not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I just wanted to ask. I was just kind of curious because I heard them talk about it last time and kind of just thinking about that.
You think if you had a house before the storm on the ground, we'd be grandfathered in and be back on the ground, huh?
Probably would think that, huh?
How long are those permits good for the parks?
I want to say as long as they have, they have the permit in that owner's name.
No time frame on it?
No. It's kind of like a house or anything else. Some things might have stipulations to time frames, but generally no, it's the life of the park or whatever.
All right. Did anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I like just real quick, just on the fence, just so y'all aware, because I know it's a big thing about the fences down here. Now, I did go back and did some research, and the Louisiana state law, I think it's RS 1236, states that yes, a Louisiana police jury can amend ordinance and require fences around camper parks, even that exist if there's a safety problems or concerns and things like that. So, like Mr. Tom Barrett said, saying that y'all cannot go back, but moving forward with the parks, I think y'all do have the power to reverse and make every park that's in these communities, in these neighborhoods next to us,
I think we asked this question when we had this meeting the first time about how do we determine which one needs a fence, which one doesn't. And I think we said if anybody complained,
but that was just for the.
That's what I said in the first meeting. I don't think every instance should have to have a.
No, and I agree with that too. I'm just saying, but say the ones that's living next to someone that's been there, a local or problems, coming about. Yeah.
I guess how we would write the ordinance would determine on safety and proximity to other people.
And I would say maybe to just really narrow it down, I mean, because we ain't got a big community down here, but anywhere you building into a neighborhood, then yes. Yeah. Whether it's a bandit, there might not be no one live, but you button up to someone's property that may build something. It's a fine line, but I'm just saying for certain places like Mr. Terry Mock, Kirk Pishoff right down there on Dewey Street, it's very bad there. Jim Thoreau, Kirk Daigle in the Ridgecraft subdivision, places like that should be a fence around there because Mr. Kirk Pishoff, he works for the waterworks. They just had to put up barbed wire and T-posts because they just driving right through their yard. I just talked to them about it before last meeting, and they said, yes, take pictures and show them. That's what I had planned of different locals that live here that have houses that these camp parks are built right on top of, that's no fence or nothing, and they dealing with us.
We'll be checking in on that. By next week, we should have some kind of answer on the fence issue.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
What's that RS number again?
1236.
RS 1236.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I got it right.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good day.
Brandon, a lot of us have already discussed this about the fence. plan issue. Is there anything else you can think of that we need to look at?
Ah.
We're looking at all, I mean.
I just want to ask, do y'all know how many sewer ponds are running? Is it just one?
I think they're having trouble with maximum capacity on this one.
Yeah, and that's another thing. What's going to happen when we get that big rain and it overflows into our river?
They took one of them away, I think, didn't it? So I'm not sure if there's another place to put it, even if it's not that location, that they can put some.
Yeah, I know they already at max.
Grade and all the lift stations and everything else. That's a complicated problem to try to figure out. But it is stuff that we've all discussed. And there you again, it's not something that's just going to happen overnight,
But that's going to be a problem at that doorstep next month when that rain comes into that flooding that sewer pond into the river.
That's one of the reasons why I'm attending the meeting tomorrow, because I was actually told yesterday evening that VG owns the pond that they're leasing or whatever, the one, and that we're going to start shutting off the residents and putting their own, but yet the sewer companies is going to continue to pay to dump their sewer in there.
I don't know if we should be saying that yet. After the morning.
We'll have more information coming forward.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I was wanting to know, because I heard we was at max capacity months ago, and you see these camper parks. Yeah, and you see these camper parks just popping up left and right, and I heard the other day that it was pretty maxed out, and if we get a big rain.
That's another issue, and that's something should have been addressed from day one. It's close proximity of where a camper park is versus where a residential house is, and we just kind of carte blanche. Of course, we've never had zoning in Cameron Parish.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
There's no commercial, no residential or anything, so it's been difficult to define what's right and what's wrong. But now we are where we are. We need to start trying to
Yeah. One more thing on the daiquiri thing. What's the square footage that you can have a building on the ground? 440? That it can just be on the ground, the size of the building.
It's not a building, so to speak. It depends on how you're looking at it and what it is. The tiny homes, which is a RV, is 400 square foot. Then outside of that, there's all kind of other different permits and goes into different things. It's not just a one case fits all. Which I don't even know I don't even think she got a permit on that, but it would be what permit is she using and what does it entail?
Yeah.
I know it has to be over 400 square foot for the liquor license stuff or whatever it is. Or ATF or whatever. But there's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, because it's 560, and then you got to figure they adding them freezers sticking out of the building to gain room, so that would even expand it more.
Well, I don't know exactly what, but I know initially it was supposed to be the 6-month temporary permit or whatever, which, I mean, you go around and look, all these big buildings are 6-month temporary, and quadruples,
Yeah.
buildings together, so, it all depends on what the permit says and what's the use of it is I guess, how you determine that, and if you can, you can.
Yeah. All right.
What bothers me is that now they're offering these 6-month temporary permits, but when I was kicked out of my house in 2019, I didn't even get offered a 6-month permit.
I remember that. I think you gave me some information on that.
Yeah. Heard you talk about it. Community
Yeah. I'm gonna go back a little bit. I was my name's Chuck Pugh, 7969 Nelson Road. I don't live in Lake Charles. I don't live in Cameron anymore. I'm a Lake Charles resident, but I own a shrimp boat down here, so I've got some interest down here. I watched the March meeting online, and I saw the port board lady come up here, give a report, talk about mud spill, and this is what happened. Everything's great. Okay. Then Venture Global was here because I saw them on the meeting. I came to the last meeting, and I saw. When she said that, then Cooper Fournette got up and spoke. He's a Johnson Law Firm lawyer, and he's been watching the reports. He's been watching everything gets turned in, and he said that she wasn't telling the whole truth, that there was multiple mud spills after the original big spill. All right. I don't get why at the last meeting, why wasn't Venture Global here giving a report? What's going on? Why don't they have a report every month? Guys, I looked through this agenda. There's like 6 or 7 things on the agenda. Everything on this agenda has something to do with Venture Global. All right. I understand they don't have to be here today because this was a public meeting. This was impromptu. But every month, Venture Global should be giving a report. Hey, we're going to have this many people in town doing work. We're going to have this happening. We're going to have, we had a minor accident. We had some leakage here. They should be giving a report to you guys, to the parish, and to the people. And when they get called out, like the port board lady, she got called out. Like she didn't tell the whole truth. She told her part of the truth. And I just think that every police jury meeting, there should be representation from Venture Global, from the port board, from anything that's happening that has to do with construction or anything environmental. They should be giving you guys reports every month. That's my opinion. Have a nice day.
Well, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Second motion by Mr. Mark, second by Mr. Johnny, Sam. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, this meeting